Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Mystical Mystique Live TV. It is Wednesday evening. Sorry. I'm surprising you all by doing a Wednesday night instead of a Saturday night. And I'm doing a Wednesday night, to surprise you, to give you something maybe a little bit different. Or just maybe testing the waters to see which night is better. Wednesday night, Saturday night, maybe both. Who knows? You might get me twice a week. Isn't that exciting? Now, a little bit of, I'm just going to kind of let it roll for a little bit to get some more people jumping on, because it takes a little while for everybody to kind of go, oh, there she is, and jump on. So I'm just going to let that go for a minute or two. But just a little bit of housekeeping. If everybody could please like and share my page, that kind of gets the word out a little bit more to maybe people who, can't have the time to sort of like tune in tonight, where they're putting kiddies to bed, because it is only 8 o'clock. People might be finishing dinner, putting kiddies to bed, all sorts of things. So I can see a few people jumping on. Stella, how are you? Yes, I'm fine. Thank you very, very much. Danina, my soul sister, Danina has popped in. She's another fellow psychic who I appreciate very much. She's kind of there for me in the good and the bad, maybe the good, the bad, the ugly. And we go on cruises together and stuff, do some events together. And yeah, it's just a shame that I'm in Northern Beaches, Sydney, and she's in Wollongong, not too far away. She's a lover of driving. I'm not, don't drive. Most of you who know me know that. But anyway, Mina's jumped on. Thank you so much. Lola, beautiful soul, thank you. And Jenny, I hope you're feeling better. I'm just going to, again, just continue to wait a bit longer. There are quite a few, you jumping on, which is fabulous. And it's nice to see some friendly faces, that's for sure. And tonight is a mixture of tarot. It's a mixture of oracle. It's a mixture of mediumship. There might be a few laughs along the way. There might be even a few stories told along the way, which is also a bit of fun. Well, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes I think it's funny, and sometimes people don't think it's funny. So, however, that's just the way it rolls. And look, spirit it does what it does. And sometimes my spirit guides can be very choice in the way, my dad comes through and he can just go, he has no monitor about him. So we can get some choice ones through at some point. Otherwise, it's about just waiting to see where the night flows into, and how much activity there is around, how many connections we have. If you can have kind of specific questions, that's always fun, because in our line of work, when people ask for a general reading, not that we discourage that in hindsight, if we're in front of you and we're doing a general reading, which can be half an hour or can be an hour, we can go over a lot of subjects. Here on the lives, it's kind of not the best to do generals, because there might be so much for you to know. And I only then got a short period of time to disclose all that, because I have other people, like the feed at the side just goes crazy. And sometimes I don't even get to people, after 2 hours. So to be fair, that's my little bit of housekeeping. To be fair, specific questions would be fantastic. Validations would also mean the world to myself, and to other of my colleagues in this industry, because then we know that we're actually that we're truly helping you and getting you through, whether it be a rough day or whether you need to hear from someone or know an answer to something. It's a way of getting that back. And it's not about ego. And I put a post up today on my page, like, people who have egos and think that they're better than everybody else shouldn't be in this industry. No egos. We're on the same playing field. And it was kind of related to Michael Jackson, because there's people that have kind of still, the poor man can't rest in peace, and I don't want this to be an avenue of people having their views on whether he's guilty, whether he's not guilty. It's more about people in the same industry respect one another. We're all different, and we all offer different things and bring to the table. So yeah, it's just my little beef today. I just read so much negativity, and I'm like, oh, get that negativity out of the way. We need some fun. Okay, so now I'm getting a few jumping on. I'm just going to scroll down and have a look at some questions. And I'm going to pop this one up. It's the first one I saw. Mina, hello. May I have a reading? Will I have the surgery I need? Thank you. Mina, thank you so much for your question. And I'm actually going to say, yes, you will. It's already in the pipeline. And I want to say to you that you're rather frustrated that it seems to have been taking so long to get an answer on certain things. And it's that frustration that you've got into you that I don't like to say the word that you've given up, but I think you've given up on getting that call. It's not about giving up on life. It's not about giving up on having the surgery at all. It's more about, I think, that you're just waiting for the phone to ring and the phone's not ringing. And therefore, each day you're kind of going, oh, is today the day? And then it doesn't happen. And then, of course, we all know what happens when, we don't get that call that we want. In having said that, though, I feel that there's still a bit of a I don't like the word struggle, but spirit comes through with the word struggle in trying to get everything I think that you're expecting out of the surgery to happen really, really quickly. So to me, that's sort of like, I need to reiterate that what I'm hearing is that, yes, it's okay to have expectations on what you expect out of surgery because you're relying on your surgeon to tell you that information. So when you have that information, that then becomes, excuse me, that then becomes an expectation because you've been told it by the specialist. However, when you come out of surgery, don't expect those things to happen instantly because and that kind of, someone else might say, oh, that's a bit general, and it is a little bit general, but your mind has kind of got into it once you know what to expect when you come out of surgery, that you just want to jump too forward too quickly. And I mean that with the greatest respect. And it's not you being being selfish and going, oh, I'm going to do this today. It's more about, please take it a little bit easy after surgery because you've waited so long for it. I just don't want a single thing to go wrong with it at the other end. And if you're too quick in wanting to do things, then it could, you could put an onus on yourself and it could stuff up a little bit. However, I don't see that, of course, unless you leap out of bed and play Superwoman and try and do something a bit too quick. I know that would be tough for you because you like to, you're quite structured, so you like to get things done in a bit of an order, and hence if the specialist has told you this, then you're going to go, okay, my day should be A, B, and C. If it goes A, C, and then D, don't worry about B. That's all I want to say there, because otherwise I think it's going to go fine, and I think you'll be perfectly fine, and that call's going to come, anytime soon. Stop actually waiting for that call. Carry on with life as normal. That call will come. It just seems to take longer when we wait for it. So, Mina, I hope that helps. And thank you so much. That's all good. Okay. Oh, we've had quite a few people jump on. Hello. Oh, Concetta. Oh, what a beautiful name. Debbie, Donna, hello. Blessings back to you. Tasha, oh, thank you so much for your compliment. Jenny, giving me a thumbs up. Linda, Tracy, hello. Okay, now I'm coming down. I'm seeing everyone's saying hello, and then all of a sudden everyone's just gone bang. Let's let's do all these. Candy, I think to me, I think you're a new viewer. I don't think I've seen your name before, so welcome. Thank you for joining. Little housekeeping for you and some of the others that are new on tonight. If you would please like and share my page so others can get maybe something out of it, even if the question, if they haven't answered, if they haven't asked a question, the answer sometimes will help other people that may be in need. So if you can do that, that'd be fantastic. And I all thank you in advance for that. Okay. Candy, you have asked a question. Let me get that up. May I ask if I will be in a relationship soon? Will it be with Russell? Please may I have a reading in English. Thank you very much. Okay. I only speak English. I actually don't know another language, unfortunately. I know my son knows Italian and a bit of Spanish. He can speak that very fluently. But me, just English. So that's all you got with me. Okay, now what I'm going to say to you, please don't take me the wrong way, okay? With all of COVID going on, and I don't want every reading tonight based around COVID, and I want people to understand with the greatest of respect, if we're not in a relationship now, there is no real fun for us to be able to go out to other places to meet other people just yet. I hate rules and restrictions, but if you're meeting someone for like a new time, I mean, I know you've said, will it be with Russell? So you obviously know Russell, but in saying that, I'm just doing this as a little bit of a general candy for everybody else. If you're asking about if you're going to fall in love soon or meeting, Mr. Right soon or Mrs. Right, whichever the case may be, under the COVID rules, we're kind of not allowed to go out and embrace one another. I mean, I have best friends and you can't even give them a hug. You're not supposed to, but, we've snuck a few in here and there. But in hindsight, going to bars, going to functions, going to cafes, all that sort of thing that we all enjoy, to meet Mr. or Mrs. Right, it's not going to happen just yet. If I see, like if I'm looking at the cards or I hear from spirit that someone is going to come your way, if I normally picture it in 6 months or I get told 6, because normally spirit gives me a number right in front of me, and it'll either be 6 months, 6 weeks, if that's what they've shown me, then I have to get you to add a few months onto that, because while there's different countries and different states, all that sort of thing, we've all got different rulings for areas. Okay, so I just want to be very clear on that nobody gets upset with me when I say, I will talk about love if you wish, but given exact time frames while we're under COVID is just a little bit angst right now. Okay, because I mean there is many other avenues, and I'll touch on that a bit later. So Candy, to answer your question, Russell, if Russell has, what I want to say to you, if Russell has longish hair, because I see longish hair past the shoulder, if he has longish hair and that is Russell, then that's the person that I see you with, but not for a while. Okay, not for a while, because there seems to be already, and you do know this person, but there seems to be some unanswered questions. And I think the unanswered questions come from you. And I think there's a little bit of doubt on whether, I think you're torn in a way where you go, do you know what? I actually want to be with him, but something's not 100% right. Like there's spirit is showing me to just kind of sit back and the doubts that you have, watch those evolve in the next couple of months. And I only want to say 2 months with that. Watch some of the actions, watch that evolve to a way where you kind of look at it and go, I think I'm finding the answer to my question with just sitting back and watching. Don't be too eager to jump in. Don't be, and again, with respect, don't be too eager to give yourself to this man. I can't control that, but that's what I'm hearing from spirit. I've got cards that say you virtually have to go through a little bit of a loss before you come to Mr. Right. So I have to be mindful of how spirit is showing me that in the cards as well. To me, I would sit back and watch. We're probably under COVID. We've probably still got a bit of time for that. But make that time important. Don't be flippant about it. Like, make the time important and go, do you know what? I'm in it for me. I'm not going to be a people pleaser anymore, because people pleasing just gets you in trouble. You have to understand your own self-worth. And when you realize that you're important and you realize that your needs matter first, you ask for what you want. If you can't get what you want and there's no compromising, then you have to go, do you know what? I'm going to take another step back. And that's what I see with you. It's almost like, don't compromise what you're wanting just to please somebody else, because the person that you got to please the most is yourself, because you are the most important person. And until that kind of gets embodied in our heads, we kind of get a bit lost in our way, and we kind of think, do you know what? But that person seems so right for me, and if they're not paying me attention, I'm going to shove my attention right in their face. I think that's just not the way to go. And as much as I'm smiling about that, I do say that with respect, because there are people who don't understand the business about people pleasing. We're not all put on this planet to people please. We're put on this planet to explore ourselves, to know who we are, to value ourselves, and to say, do you know what? I actually want someone. I want someone deserving of me in my life. I want someone who will respect me, who will like me as I am, take me as I am, and then go, do you know what? This is something I haven't experienced before. And that will bring you the greatest happiness. I promise you, it will bring you the greatest happiness. Okay, so please, thank you, Candy. I hope that wasn't a bit too long-winded and whatever, but I think if you do those little things, I'm pretty sure that everything will come good. Okay. Thank you. Excuse me for having a frog in my throat already. Normally happens toward the ends, and it's going to happen early tonight, but that's okay. Donna, my love, thank you for jumping in. I'd like to know who comes forward in spirit for me tonight, please, Ms Tique, and if there are any messages. Donna, you know I adore your love and support that you give me along the way, and you have done for a little while. And I do appreciate that very much. I'm just going to draw a couple of cards and see where I'm headed. Okay. Wow. You're as when I say you're as strong as an ox, you have so much endurance with you. And I want to say to you, in hindsight, there is so much that's happened with you. So and so much that kind of where you've fallen underway at times. And I want to say because of that, you have kind of in the last couple of years gone into this bit of this self-doubt business and why aren't I good enough? And that word comes through very loud and clear. As I say, you are so strong, but there are times where you just have that ripple effect, and there's a trigger in there. And if you want to contact with me privately, at some other point, that's all fine. But the trigger is what will get you every time, and we have to work on the trigger. And the trigger is something from past. So somebody, when you were younger, kind of made you feel like that you weren't worthy of something. And that's a trigger that when you hear certain comments or you hear certain sentences said to you, that trigger just ignites with you. And you start to, as I said, the endurance is there. But when you have that trigger, the trigger is just like, oh, my God, here we go again. And why me? And this why me thing is just, it's kind of sticking with me as if to say, well, why do you keep saying why me? But it's because I believe, because what I'm hearing and what I'm also sensing is that it's past stuff and it's a trigger because it's still laying deep in your gut. And when it lays deep in your gut, nothing will ever be able to be accomplished and accomplished successfully while you have that trigger. Okay, and and who's telling me this actually happens to be an elderly gentleman, which I want to say to you comes to me in a suit, but I wouldn't say a military suit. It's a very I'd call, oh God, very old-fashioned way he talks. A very dapper type suit, not to the point where he has a top hat, but that sort of era of that suit. And I want to say to you that even in the top left-hand pocket, there is not, it's not white, there's like this very pale, and people are going to laugh because it's a pink color, a very pale pink hanky in the top pocket. But he's coming through and saying, you have got to, okay, almost what I had myself in the cards. You've got to stop listening to others who are throwing you off track. Don't know what the throwing off track is, but he comes through loud and clear and says, you are listening to too many mouths. Too many mouths are going chatter, chatter, chatter instead of shush. Okay. So too many people. What's that other saying? Not enough Indians, too many cheaters. I don't know, whatever that saying was. I kind of lost me there. But it is this feeling of you get so good and you get so confident, and it's not about being cocky, but you get your confidence back from something, and then somebody says something and it's a trigger, and whoosh, it seems to put you back down again. So what I see is all these, it's like you're climbing mountains all the time. So you get to a good point and then you crash. You get to a good point and you crash. But I have to say to you, I mean, this is a public platform. I have to say to you, the trigger from younger years, we need to kind of work on that before anything is going to move forward. And if that's granddad in my ear that says stop listening to all this chatter, then I pay my respects to him, because he's a very dapper, and he shows me this very dapper way about him with this suit. And I love the pale pink hanky, but he says the pale pink hanky has some meaning to you. So that's why I was getting a bit of a giggle, because a lot of men don't wear pink hankies. But yeah, very cute. So Donna, I hope that's helped you, and please let me know. And please let me know about the other, because I think You know, I think there's cause there to upheaval some of that and move it on. Yeah, my tattoo on my inner arm is acknowledge, accept, release. It's a whole. It might be only 3 words, but it's a whole healing process that can take up to 6 to 8 months for somebody to go through that healing process. But I will teach them. I will teach them how to do that. So as long as if you have to keep coming to me for 8 months, I will teach you how to do that yourself. Yeah. So yeah, just come in and we'll have a chat about the other. Alrighty. Who have I got next? I'm actually doing them in order, to be fair, with everybody. I'm doing them in order, okay? I would love to hear from my mum. Okay, Linda. Let me have a look here. Okay. Would it be fair to say to you, Linda, and I don't know how quickly you can let me know this, because Spirit's kind of, I have quite a few that are jumping in and out all the time tonight, so maybe Wednesday's the night to do this. But I actually want to say to you that Mum is quite calm. Mum is somebody who, and it's not about all mothers do this, but mum is somebody who, excuse me, as a child, sat on the fence and didn't get involved in too much. Mum, as she got older and was your mum, she was able to embrace every little thing that you came to her with. Nothing was ever too much for her to kind of go, do you know what? Sit down, take a breath. I need to talk to you. I need to do this. I need to do this. How about we work on this? So mum was kind of like a person who would, and not a person who wanted to get involved because they just want to know everything in your life, but a person who just sat back and I was really adoring in being able to go, do you know what? I will help you through this every inch of the way. I also want to say there's something about a particular book, and it's not a child's book. So I don't know if your mum had a favourite book together where either one of you read it first and passed it on to the other, or you actually read it together, because I'm getting a bit of a smirk from mum as if to say, do you know what? We love our books. So, and mum was we like to think that all our mums are our best friends, but in your case, I think there was a lot that because you got to lean on her, and she, she enjoyed that. It was almost like she gave more, and with the greatest respect, she gave more because she didn't get that in her life when she was a child. And I think that she was going to be so determined that you weren't going to miss out. So I have a lot of respect for your mum, and there's something to do with a yellow and an orange. Are they together? No, but I think because they're plants, and I have to say that I think mum used to grow them, but I think they're two particular bushes, but opposite sides. Okay, I'm going opposite sides of the house because she's not showing me them together. However, when the flowers were picked, she put them in the vases together, but they grew opposite sides of the house. So yeah, just some clarification on that would be great. And thank you so much for joining me. And I hope that helps, Linda. Just let me know. That'd be great. Thank you. Jenny, I've probably got a bucket load more, and it's probably agreeing with something that I said earlier, but yep. Thank you. Nicolette. Okay, Nicolette, you contacted me the other day, and we've got something coming up. So welcome. I don't think have you been on my live? I think, or somebody. Yeah. Anyway, we won't go into that. Let me have a look. Is there a move coming up for me? Okay. I'm sure you're talking about your home life, because what I'm getting here is that there's two people that are going to come at you with offers. And I find that, I find that one tries to undervalue, but not necessarily price-wise, but tries to undervalue who you are with your knowledge, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's something there that I shouldn't say it, but I don't take too kindly with this person, because it seems to be that someone comes to you and they're a bit of a pushover. They think that you're a bit of a pushover. So not liking that coming through from spirit, because that's not very nice at all. However, there will be something in the mix that you're able to say, do you know what? I'm happy to go with that over here, and I'm okay with signing that. So I do see a contract being signed. So Actually, I don't see the contract though for another at least almost 3 months. So it's a bit of a trek. What are we in now? The end of October. Wow. So that's going to be near the end of January. But you know what? That might give you time, because what else came up? That might give you time to be structured in the way that you're ready to go into something new. Look, and I know you've probably been wanting that move for a long time, but it really hasn't. The time hasn't been right because the right place hasn't come along. And I think you've kind of got an idea of how you like, where you want to move into, but you haven't seen that along the way. Okay, it doesn't seem like you've, how can I say this? Okay, I'm showing you something different now. You've fallen in love with the outside of one, but not fallen in love with the inside. But you've seen something else. So there's a little bit of confusion about what you're really after, which probably makes sense in then not anything coming through for the next 3 months. So maybe just don't draw up so many plans in your head. Go into places with open minds, okay? And have a look how things might be able to be changed a little bit to come up with maybe what your desire is, yeah? Because not everything we see is going to be filtered for us. We have to kind of look at it and be creative and look behind certain walls, or look behind flaws, or how something is structured, and work out what we can do to kind of make it back to us, yeah? Because that to me seems to be a bit of a key. And I think you and your partner kind of, not that you're looking for different things, but you and your partner, I think in one particular room, kind of throwing way different comments about it, at one another. So good luck with that, and I will speak to you soon about all the other stuff. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, my sister. My sister. Why are you so frustrated, my love? You can't just tell me that you're frustrated and don't tell me anything else. Wow. Okay. I don't know. That's not even a question, Pip. So let me just see. I would really prefer a question from you, because that's just a bold statement. A lot of people are frustrated with a lot of things going on, COVID or not COVID. It's all kind of going on in. Okay. Why has your you're a woman who is motivated beyond anything that I have come across for a long time. You have your foot in the right pie, so to speak, in a lot of different areas, but you are so stuck, and COVID hasn't been kind to you at all, and it hasn't done to a lot of people. But I want to say to you that you can't change some of the things that are going on around you right now. And I don't want to be horrible and say, suck it up. I mean, you're one of my besties, and I could probably say that to you in public, but on here is a bit rough. But there's things going on that are out of your control. And because they're out of your control, you can't then try and control it. I know you'd love to, but you just can't. So take a few breaths. Come back, settle, kind of start planning for 21. Forget about 20. Don't even think about planning anything for 20. Oh, apart from my 60th coming up. Just kidding. But you need to stop. Just stop for a minute. You're a workaholic. You make sure everybody else is okay. You run at everything like a bull at a gate, even though you know what you're doing, but sometimes you take that fall. Kind of sit back a bit, please, for 2020. Just start focusing on what you can do in 21, what you have control of in 21. And anything else, please ring me and have a chat, because I think there's a lot there, and I don't think it needs to be aired on here to be 100% correct in that way. But I also want to say to you, this is really bizarre, in your room, like I'm going for a wander, in your room, your set of drawers on the left-hand side, and I believe there's 3 drawers. In the middle drawer, there's something in there that you've got tucked away. I believe you get it out every so often, and pardon the pun, but give it a little kiss. And I think Brother Dear is very welcoming with that. And Brother Dear loves that you still think of him. Brother Dear says, wish I had known sooner. Wish I had have done a few things sooner. Wish I was smart enough. And that's not me criticizing my brother. He just didn't pick up on a lot of things, sweetheart. Like, seriously. And that's just him. And he's had that all his life. And I wish he had it too. And yeah, great lot of love and respect there. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, you can talk to me another time about that. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down very quickly and just see. Man, you guys have gone crazy. Ooh, very crazy. This is good. Okay, before I just do another quick read, I'm just going to say hello to Judy. Hello. Hope you're well. We had a session the other day. Thank you so much. Marion, correct me if I'm saying this wrong. Sakeli? It's probably wrong, but thank you so very much for joining. Please let me know where you're joining in from. Terry, hello. Sharon, hello. Paula, hello. Beautiful. Tony, hello. Hope you're well, Tony. Hope everything's going all right. Melissa, Kylie, oh, Julie, hello. That's another. I've got a few soul sisters on tonight. Julie, oh, she's complimenting away. Thank you so much. Joe, Stacy, Clarissa, Dean Walker. I'm so pleased that you jumped in because we need to connect. That message is a while ago now, and from that message I had an almost ruptured appendix and hospital and recovery and all sorts of things. So I never, I did get back to you, but we need to connect. There's a lot. I don't know what it is, but I have a strong connection with you for whatever reason. Certainly on a spiritual level. Let me clarify that, in case anyone starts anything crazy. But yeah, it's. I don't know why I'm drawn to you for certain things, but I feel with you that there is so much that we need to explore, so much that we need to. I don't know the word fix, but so much. I think so much has gone on with you past, and I believe that you have done a lot of work yourself, and you continue to do a lot of work. But there's just something else, and I don't know whether you need a push from me. I don't believe you need to kick up the bum for any reason whatsoever. But I feel that you are kind of really stuck at crossroads, and there's some decisions. There's some decisions that you need to make on things, and I just think that is what you're stuck on, and I feel that's what you need guidance on. But also too, there's a few personal things that I think that you need a little bit of help with, and I'm happy to do so. So yes, please, we will connect. Shoot me another message when you can, and we'll have a look at some times, because yeah. So thank you for joining my live tonight. I don't think I've ever seen you on one before, so thank you so much. So it's a pleasure to have you here. Okay. Nita, I'm going to just jump to you on your work. Okay, and I don't know if I normally remember everything, but I don't know if we've touched on this before. And because there seems to be something that's coming to the forefront, Spirit has jumped in again and virtually said there's some struggles at work. There's some struggles with you being heard. There's some struggles with not that you want a pat on the back, but there's things that you do that where you go above and beyond, and I don't think any of it's being recognised. And I think there's some issues around there. And please correct me if that's wrong or if I've repeated myself from before, but that's what's coming through from spirit. So if I said it before and I'm saying it again, it just means that it's still going on and there's not being anything done about it. And that's not me having a shot at you. That's just me kind of saying if nothing's been done about it, and if that's twice it's come through, it means it's really important that you've got to try and work out what you need to do from there. I know with COVID, I know there's masses of people that have lost their jobs and their hours have been shortened, or they're not working at all, but they were getting some money from the government, and now that's all changed. So everything has been screwed around. Everybody's lives have been screwed around. Trust me when I say everyone's mind has kind of been screwed around as well, which it has. But I want to say to you that if you don't challenge yourself to be able to be strong enough to, Spirit says it in a weird way, put your foot down, you're going to come to a loss. You're going to kind of say to yourself, virtually in 6 weeks, why didn't I do that sooner? Why didn't I say something sooner? But then I don't want you beating yourself up about it. I want you to clearly step back and go, do you know what? What is right for me? If all that is not working for you and there's some disrespect, please try and nip it in the bud, excuse me. Because if you don't, it just seems like you'll go on, and then you'll just go. And it's when you take that dive that I feel that it's really hard for you to come back up. So I have some concern about that, because to me, you have the biggest of hearts. You are kind and you are gentle, and you give that to many. But some people just, not that you give it to get it back. Nobody, well, there is some, but in hindsight, you don't give all that to get it back. You give because you want to. You give because you have this kind heart. You give because you can see resolutions in things, or you can see the answers to some problems in your work. But there seems to be somebody in the background that just doesn't want to listen. And I just don't understand why. And I don't understand why that you would want to beat your head against a wall. I just want to see you be a bit freer. I want you to kind of be happy all the time. I want you to, go into somewhere and enjoy getting out of bed to go there. I want you to embrace it. I want you to have fun. And I mean, life's too short. If you're not being appreciated, sweetheart, or the other thing that I just heard, if the dollar sign is not really what, worthy of what you're doing, there seems to be something that you need to do about that. Whether you speak up, or whether you sit back and go, do you know what? I'm understanding what she's saying, but I won't speak up to management, but I'll speak up to myself and I'll start looking elsewhere. And if you happen to be able to find somewhere, start putting the feelers out. There's nothing wrong with ever putting the feelers out, yeah? I just want you to be aware of that, because to me, there's something better around the corner. I can't see a move though till kind of in between Christmas and New Year, virtually with a company that has closed, and this is weird, with a company that's closed down over Christmas, but they're still willing to review people's paperwork that they're sending in. So maybe do some research and have a look around that. Okay. Thanks so much, Nita. I appreciate you jumping in. Okay, Marianne. Hello, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you're here too, sweetheart. I hope you're well. Yes, I am well, thank you. Does my friend who passed 8 weeks ago hear me? She said she would make contact. I talked to her. Okay. I don't know how quickly you can jump in. I don't even know whether I'll see it, unless I scroll down very quickly after I say this. Marianne, with the greatest respect, I'm very sorry for your loss. Great partnership, and I say partnership because she was one of those one of a kind friends. Very calming, very sweet, very joyful. Very sorry that she has passed. But I actually want to say to you, you have jewel, you have something. There's something to do with around the neck. So I'm leaning towards a necklace, but then Spirit is showing me 2 reasons about the neck, and I probably would privately want you to answer that one. But also too, there's something in your in your home. You have I shouldn't laugh because people take me the wrong way when I laugh. It's more about when spirits sometimes come through because they're so, happy because they're free. Sometimes they make jokes in my ear, and sometimes it's not the right time for me to come out with a bit of a smile. But I want to say to you that she's okay. Like she knows she's gone too early, but there's nothing else that she could do. Okay, nothing else that she can do, and she's sorry that you're sad, but she hears you, and you'll know when she hears you because in your room, she's taking me down like a hallway that has a bathroom to the right and then a room to the left. So the room to the left, you have some sort of picture in there of her, but I firmly believe I think it's of both of you, and I think that you both are having a really good time actually, because I see, and that's probably what she's showing me. She's like all these, your faces are lit up like Christmas trees. There's all these smiles, there's all this fun going on, and it's probably one of the best days that you had for a long time because it's just, you girls are just being free and easy. But she also draws my attention to something that you've written, which is very, very important to yourself and to herself. And I understand that I think it's a letter that you've written to her. I want to say to you after her passing. I'm not sure if you read it at her funeral, if you're able to do that, or whether you wrote it for some self-healing. But she's heard it. She loves it. She loves you. And she's kind of laughing as if to say, can't you hear me tapping? I don't know what she's tapping because she's being a bit vague, but I love that about Spirit because they will say things that don't make sense to me, but they'll make sense to you as soon as you hear it. So all I'm getting is that I'm surprised because of my tapping, and I think it's the nails tapping on something. That's what she's showing me anyway. But no, she's fine and she hears you. Please keep talking to her. And I understand there's an anniversary something date coming up. Someone's an important date for somebody. Put a plate out for her. She will be there. Don't put any food on it. And I will say that to everyone, like, birthdays and Christmas time, things like that. If you're wanting a passed over loved one to come and visit you where you'll actually feel them, you'll actually hear something from them on an important date, when you're having a function, please put a plate out for them. No food on it, doesn't have to be any food on it whatsoever. Put a chair, a plate. If they're a Scotch drinker, put an empty Scotch glass there. If they had a favourite decanter, if they had a favourite decanter of spirit or a particular wine, have that there. If they're a tea drinker and they have their favorite, if you happen to have their favorite cup, put that out for them. It is an automatic, and I'm 100% guarantee you with this one, it's an automatic invitation for Spirit to join you. And when you feel, some people might laugh at you, but you don't have to tell them what it really is. When you get to experience the feeling of feeling them there on that day, can't ask for anything better. Some people cry because they're going to go, oh, I wish we were here in the flesh, and we all love that too. But the feeling is so beautiful. It is embracing. It opens your heart even further. You sit there in awe thinking, oh my God, they're here. They're here for my birthday, or they're here to help me, celebrate Christmas. They're here for their own birthday, whichever the case may be. I can guarantee you, 100%, they will be there. Okay? And thank you, Marianne. And if you can inbox me or message me or something rather and let me know about that, that'd be fantastic. Brilliant. Okay, Karen, I'm new. What do you see in the future for me and my girls? Okay, Karen, that is very, very general, and we're only here for a short time. Can you maybe jump in and ask me something specific around there? Because if it's about your girls' schooling or, what your girls might be exploring with their creativity or something to do with that, something, and I don't mean to be rude, but something that general, I could spend an hour with you, and I would rather be answering more specific questions than that. So, Karen, if you're still here, can you please jump in? And I'll have a quick look down the bottom to see. Sandra, hello. Anne, hello. Dean, you agree with me? Can you, excuse me, Dean, while I've got you, and if you're still here, can you please also to respond to me to let me know if you have that particular feeling where you know that we have to connect for some reason? It would just be fabulous to get your insight on that, because I have pretty bizarre, but a beautiful bazaar. So thank you. Okay, Donna, yeah. Okay. I think you know. Yes. Okay. Thank you for your validation, Donna. Truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate it. Yes. Thank you. That is the saying. Okay. So I need to go back. Melissa, I haven't missed you. I actually haven't got you yet. I've just seen that as I'm scrolling backwards to see where I was actually at. So no, you haven't missed that. I haven't missed you, I mean. Okay. I'm just going to come into here. Tasha, I think you're fairly new. I've had a really crappy day with my kids. My son's been getting bullied now. He's doing things himself to other kids. I don't know why he's doing it and what he's doing. Is it going to all work out? Thank you. Tasha, look, I actually want to say to you, from what I hear, is that I think someone has put into his head when he was getting bullied, which I understand is still going on, is what I hear. It's also what I sense, unfortunately. But someone, and I don't know who this other male is, and it's not because it's not a child. I understand like another male has passed the comment of, "Come on, toughen up and kind of do back as you're getting" type thing. And people take note. I think that someone's given him the wrong advice, and that's coming from a male. I don't know if it's a teacher. I really don't think a teacher would say that, but I don't know where it's coming from, because it is an older male. It's not a kid. It's an older male that has put that into his head. Where if he kind of stands up and does the same, that people will then see him as a bit of a threat and leave him alone type thing. But that's he's so up in here. When he's been told that, he's kind of think, oh well, I'll have a go at that, and if I have a go at it and it works, well, then I'm okay. But then he hasn't dealt with the frustration of being bullied. And therefore, it's kind of causing him some confusion, and he's acting out because this up here, like I'm just being shown for a child, there just seems to be so much going on in here. I actually want to say to you, I think his sleep is rubbish. I think you're even struggling with that too, even though that you haven't said it. But it just seems that this poor kid has kind of been on the receiving end. And someone has kind of said to him that, it's okay to say that back to try and get them to stop. But in doing that, it's kind of not created a monster, but it's kind of created a, how do I say it, like a bit of a, not fully, but a bit of a chip on the shoulder to say, well, I can do it back and I'm okay. But he hasn't dealt with how he has felt. Like his true inner child. I mean, I know he's a child anyway, but his true inner child is almost rebelling. Not necessarily him rebelling because they've been hurt, and they're feeling a bit suffocated. So the inner child has kind of gone, you know what? Oh, I'm going to go back on the attack. In an adult form, we can control the inner child, where I change it into an inner warrior to protect us and give us strength to get through, like in a really difficult situations. But as a child, the inner warrior kind of fully hasn't formed, but it's the inner child, almost like a cat scratching, to be able to get out. It's kind of like that. So the inner child is confused with, I'm going to fight fire with fire. So, when I see something like that, it's almost like, you need to get your son to be able to speak confidently to someone, and whether it be I do psychotherapy, I do holistic counseling. If I can be of any help, and you want to book in for that, fine. I'm not sure where you're from, but start with a GP, because also too, even in young kiddies, if they're missing an important nutrient in their body, their brain can actually act a bit funny. So even probably go to the GP first and get maybe a little bit of that checked, but also to give him somewhere, and to a professional, a safe place to be able to talk. And you and you and everybody around, he's not going to kind of open up fully, because then that inner child will be kind of going, oh no, they'll just tell me what to do, and I'm supposed to do what they say. But yeah, when a stranger is involved, and I think when the stranger has an understanding, like as I'm saying, like with a GP or another professional, then I think that the answers will all be right in front of you. And I think it'll be very quickly from that point forward, that you'll get your loving little boy back. And yeah, so I do wish you all the best in that. Please contact me privately if you need to, any further information on it. And yeah, I'm happy to, I'm happy if you want to, connect with me and get me to sort of speak to him to see if I can help in any way, shape, or form. Okay, thank you, Mina. Thank you for your feedback. That's lovely. Thank you. Beautiful soul that you are. Okay. I've done that one. Oh, but you said I didn't see that. You said glowing as usual. Wow, that's lovely. Thank you, Marianne. That's beautiful. Compliments will get you everywhere. Oh, Candy, thank you so much. That's beautiful. And the reason why I say to people, if you can like and share the page, it's not about me, having an ego. It's more about when some of your questions are answered by me, someone else could be watching that didn't know about me or didn't know about a live feed or whatever the case may be, and they see it somewhere else and they watch it for a while, and some of their questions can be almost the same or totally different, but the response, it kind of helps them in some other way. So that's why I always say to people, please like and share my page so others can get some guidance, others can embrace, maybe what they're feeling, or then they kind of go, do you know what, I'm going to watch that next time and then get my real question answered. Do you know what I mean? So that, to me, that's kind of fairness in the world. My Mystique stuff is a business, but, and I do this because I love what I do and I'm good at what I do. I don't have tickets on myself, but I do. I have a strong passion for it, and if I can help as many people as I can, in these quick readings, then I feel good about that. And you guys will kind of go, do you know what? I'm starting to trust her, and I understand her, and I want to, I want to hear more, or I've got another question, or something happens in a month's time where you kind of go, do you know what? I need that checked on, all that sort of stuff. And if you want, if you ever want anything that is so in depth, then just come onto my Facebook page and send me a message, and we'll book in like a full session. Go to my website and there's an online booking thing. Go there and do that. Because I'm more than happy, to have their longer. I mean, the longer sessions, yes, it has to be paid for, of course, because it's my business. But then you will be having a taste of me on these live feeds to understand, who I am and how I work and how I connect. And there's many facets to me. I have many 5 or 6 Facebook pages because I'm a natural born psychic medium clairvoyant. Been seeing and talking to spirits since I was 3. And then over time, I kept having a vision of a wellness centre. I don't have the funds to build a wellness centre, but the other way I could do it was to spend years and years of study. So I'm a qualified psychotherapist. I'm a qualified holistic counsellor. I'm a qualified intuitive spiritual healer, and I'm a qualified, empowerment coach. I'm and then I'm a motivational speaker. I'm all sorts of things. But I was determined to study and get through all that so I could bring more to the mix of Mystique. And I try and separate my pages to try and put different content on them for that reason. So yeah, I am many things. And yes, my time is valuable too, as is yours. So yeah, so that's why I say like and share the page. And if you want to have a full session with me, please do. The one thing that I want to before I do another read, the one thing I'd like to sort of say to people, and I may not have mountains of viewers right now, but if people hear this later, that'd be great. If people can comment, whether it be later after we finish, which will still going for a while now, but after we finish tonight or on another live, if people could let me know, would they like me to come on live later at night, like on, say, Sydney Daylight Saving Time? I'm talking around 10:30ish at night, not for every live session, for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Could be some fun. There's a lot of us that can't. I know there's already a lot of people that can't enjoy their big Christmas parties or their big New Year's Eve parties, and the fireworks are probably going to cancel. I mean, what's everybody going to do? So I kind of thought, you know what? 2020 has been a really crappy year. What can I do to help others try and make the end of the year and 2021 or the start of 2021 just feel a little bit better? So my offer is, if I can wangle both nights late, I will. But if you have a preference, please tell me. Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, from probably about 10:30 onwards, Sydney Daylight Savings Time, to bring in, to welcome in Christmas Day, to welcome in New Year's Day and things like that. And I'm sure, as any other year on Psychic TV, that spirit is very, very active around those times. Why? Because they know it's generally a celebration, and they want to celebrate with you, regardless of whether they're on this realm or not. They want to celebrate with you. Okay. So if you can let me know that'd be great. I'd appreciate that. Or even if you don't want to put it here on the feed, just private message me and let me know. That'd be awesome. Okay, Sharon. I'm worried about my mum. Is she going to be okay? Sharon, look, the short answer I want to say to you is yes. I don't know if this is for public forum either as well, but yes, in the short term, I feel that there's something going on with her that hasn't fully risen to the surface. If I'm bold enough to say to you, and with the greatest respect, can you please get a second opinion? Came through loud and clear. For the moment, look, I think she's fine. And I think there's a few things together that have compacted into making her feel rather unwell, and everything is kind of being addressed. How can I say this? Everything has been addressed a little bit separate, but some of the medications are trying to fix everything at once, if that makes sense. It would be really handy to have a second opinion just to make sure that you're going on the right path. I don't see anything sinister. Please don't take that the wrong way. It's more about getting that second opinion just to be sure that you're on the right path. Because to me, I just have a small feeling that there's another tablet that's got to be added into the mix, and then she'll feel a bit better. Because I just think there's one, to me, I'm hearing there's one component that's missing. And I just think when that's picked up, that everything will be okay, and she won't feel as unwell as what she feels right now. But yeah, as I said, it's nothing major. Like, it's not a big component missing, smallish component, but I just think it will help to get that second opinion, just so you can clarify that one component. Okay. Otherwise, I know that you're worried, and I know Mum doesn't feel well, and I think here's my dad with choice words. I think that Mum is thinking to herself, and I want to say that she said it out loud, that she's sick. She's, what does that say? Because Dad said it just to me twice. She's fed up to the back teeth of it. Is a saying that came through. And God, I haven't even heard that myself for a long time. But if she's fed up, with trying to stay on top of it, then she will feel weaker. And that's probably why I'd like her to get that second opinion, because if that other medication gets in, I feel that she'll be a lot, she'll be a bit more focused, because I feel that there's a bit of, even with her words, with her speech, it's a little bit slower. It's sometimes a little bit confused. So yeah, second opinion, my love. And I think you'd be on the right track. So I hope that helps you. And if please, can you let me know? That'd be fantastic. Okay, Paula. Lovely Paula. Oh, there was a song, wasn't there? Hey, Paula. Hey, Paula. Oh no, because the next line is not I want to marry you. Well, I better not say that. Okay. Excuse me. Paula is another fellow associate that I've worked with in the past at some NBSs. Haven't seen you for a while, probably last year's NBS actually. So thank you for jumping in. Thank you for joining me. Now, you, my sweet, work's been a bit of a trek for you, and I want to say that there are times when you've wanted to throw the towel in. You've wanted to throw the towel in, not on yourself, hell no. It's more about you've been given a rough trot. Not only in the last, like, it's not even this year or last year. There's a few years where you've just had a really rough trot, and it's how do I say this? At times it's dampened who you are, but then at times you've had that inner worry where you've gone, you know what? Stuff that. No one's going to tread on. What is it saying? No one's going to rain on my parade. I'm going to get up there and fight. And I love that in you. I adore that in anyone who just goes, do you know what? I'm going to grab the bull by the horns, and you can tread on me all you like, but I'm going to shine. And that's what you do, and you do it very well. I want to say to you, you do it with dignity. Whereas others might have a bit of revenge in there. You don't. You do it with dignity. But I want to say to you, like, you have a few areas that you can, what is the word? Navigate to improve. And I say that with respect because I have the utmost respect for you. But if you navigate and find, Spirit saying, if you navigate and fine print some of the loose ends, because you've got your finger in a couple of pies. So if you navigate and tighten up some loose ends, more abundance will come your way. So there is, in other words, there's having a few fingers in the pie, and that's probably like a bit like me, where I have all these qualifications and I can, do multitudes of different types of sessions with people. But to me, it's more about having that expansion of knowledge. And I think you crave a bit of knowledge yourself as well. But I think there's a couple of little areas that you just haven't finished off. And therefore, with having those fingers in the pie and not having a full completion, something is getting a bit lost. Something, whether that's you not being able to speak to the fullness of your qualifications, or to be able to take on new opportunities because there's something a bit fallen short. That's what I need to look at. What I need you to look at. I need you to step back and kind of go, do you know what? I have all this in front of me. Now what do I do with it? And it's one of the hardest things in the world to kind of go, I'm so good at this and this, but what do I do? That's when you take the step back. Please give the rest of this year that time, because I want to see you shine then. Oh, they said there's my tattoo, acknowledge, accept, release, with my butterfly, with transformation. Look at me trying to show off my arm. Yay. It's more about you then being able to take this time when we're in what I would hope would be the tail end of COVID, finish off this really crappy year, because I say it that way because there's so many of us that have had a crappy year. Some of us have had great things happen in the year, but had things thrown on us that we're kind of going, oh God, that just weighs out the good. And kind of things are getting a bit too much. So take this time to kind of work out what all those little niches are, and put yourself like a package together to try and work out, well, where is my best foot going to go? What do I excel at the most, to be able to put that forward, but put that forward successfully. And then there's one thing that you're not going to use, well, then tie that knot off and think, you know what, I'm not ready to add that yet, and I'll worry about that another time. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, a few things around there. And look, I think 2021 will be so much better for you if you actually think about those things and put them together before 2021 starts. Yeah. And certainly if you have any queries about that, if you need to have a full session so I can delve in deeper, like, of course, always. And that goes for anyone that wants a really in-depth session, please book in where we can go. Okay, have a look here. See what we've got. Okay, so I see we've got a troll by the name of Paul Smith. He's jumping in to tell everyone to message him, and yeah, I've actually say to people, as soon as I see a troll, and sometimes I don't see them until later, I always work alone. So Ms Tique as a name, like, because my email is will have the Robin at Ms Tique. I will never send you something to say, book in with someone else or have a reading with somebody else. I always work on my Pat Malone, always have, and probably always will. I do festivals and everything with other people, but certainly everything else is my own. So I won't be sending you anything to get someone else to read for you or whatever the case may be. So when you see anything that pop up, mainly these trolls do it on all our lives. All the psychics I know that do lives. I mean, we always get these trolls, and it's a way of defrauding you out of money. So be very, very careful, whether it's my live or somebody else's, to be careful of what's going on there. Okay. And Dean, I just want to acknowledge, I haven't read this yet, acknowledge that you've popped in with something else. Where do I start? My spiritual healing life are taking some time, big jumps and growth. Like I've been shot out of a cannon, but I don't know the direction I'm headed or where I will land. I know intuitively, but I do need confirmation. Okay. There's a lot more for you, Dean, and I guess that's why, for whatever reason, I think that you are on Facebook or something. I think that you're friends with somebody else I know or something, and that's how that friend request, whatever, would have gone out. In saying that, I think we both accepted it or something, and then we didn't know where we knew one another from. So there's a connection to be had there for many, many reasons, and I believe it is the spiritual path, and I believe it is because you are so stuck, if I may say so, on a few things, but they're not to you. I want to say I have to tell, wow, Spirit has jumped in and sort of like taken me for 10 years. So for 10 years, you've kind of shaken yourself off a few times and picked yourself back up, and then something else has gone wrong. And again, with you kind of wondered why you thought you've taken the right road instead of the left road. So I kind of see you standing in that middle of that crossroads going, where do I go now? What do I need to do? And at some point, with all due respects, there's sometimes that you've said, and who am I? You've questioned who you are. But by questioning who you are, that's put doubt in yourself. And when self-doubt comes in, that takes your confidence away, and you don't put yourself out there. And then all these sorts of things, they're all triggers. And when they're triggers, you just kind of just get stuck and go, well, what do I do? So reach out privately, and we need to sort that out. Yeah, because I can probably help you in many, many ways. Then that's not me, certainly not me with an ego. That's just, I just know. Okay. So where are we going? Candy, thank you. Yes, I hope it meant something to you, and please let me know. That'd be wonderful. Okay. Do you see us moving soon to the home my husband has inherited? Will I be happier there? Okay, the happier part is up to you, in the short answer. I can't make anybody happy. The universe tries, but in hindsight, we have to work on that ourselves. And look, at sometimes I go through a lot of stuff, and I just think, oh my God, like, am I actually the happiest that I should be? And sometimes I question that myself. But it's up to me then to work out, oh, what do I need to do? You can't buy happiness. You can't be given a surprise package that says, open up me and you'll be happy. Do you know what I mean? And I mean that with the greatest respect. Like, I know I kind of smile sometimes when I probably shouldn't. But it is about understanding that you know, you have to make, if you want to tell me that you're unhappy, then you need to sort of ask yourself the questions why, and ask yourself, why do I feel that way? Or has someone made me feel that way? And if they have, then I'm going to turn that around, because I'm not going to allow someone else to take away that from me. And I know when we split up from partners and things like that, that we're all unhappy. But if you allow that person to continually hurt you, even though they're not there, but mentally continue to hurt you because you're hanging on to it, well, then they're winning. Then they're winning for years, rather than winning for that, maybe that month or so that you feel a bit crappy when it's happened. Okay, do you know what I mean there? So it's just a little bit of a tidbit there. But you know what? The home that your husband inherited, I want to say, is nice, but there's a bit of work. But you can. Okay. Sorry. Spirit just took me to the kitchen and said it's not the right kitchen for you. Wow, that's pretty specific. I love that. I love it when Spirit just says, blurts things out, because I think it's wonderful. So there's something in the structure. There's something that's just not your cup of tea, is what Spirit is saying. So, but you know what? If you have the house is inherited, if you have some funds to maneuver, okay, I'm seeing a swap. To maneuver, if I'm seeing a swap, that means Spirit is kind of saying, turn that kitchen back the other way. Oh, I don't even know how that makes sense. But flip the design of the kitchen, because the way it's set up, you will never be happy, because it's not functional. I don't like to say it's not up to your standard, because that's not true, in a sense that it's more dysfunctional than what it is, than up to your standard. So yeah, Spirit seems to think that room is just not your cup of tea whatsoever. But I don't think you can see a design past there. I think that's what the issue is with you saying, you know, will you be happier there? If you left it as is, I want to say to you, no, because it's just not functional, and you'll get more and more frustrated. And then when you get frustrated, you'll actually say, oh my God, why do we move in here? So I think there's a few things to think about in seeing if you can change some of that. Flip it, like Spirit is saying. If that's possible, then try that, or talk to a designer. If it can't be flipped, talk to a designer maybe about changing that room into a different type of room, and being able to use another room to build a whole complete new kitchen, if you know what I mean. But you may not have the funds, but that's just a personal example that I'm using for where Spirit is saying flip it, and you know what the house looks like. And if it can't be flipped, then look at other avenues. But yeah, but you need to be happy with everything flowing correctly and working well for you in there, because if you're not, and you move in there, you will regret it. Okay. It's nice that part of that is sad, because you obviously inherited because someone has passed, but it's nice that you have been given that opportunity. So it has to work to and function right. If it doesn't function right, you're never going to be happy there. Okay, so that part is all up to you. Yeah. So thank you, Melissa, and let me know how you go with that, because I'd actually be extremely interested, because kind of it's she's jumped in here straight away. I love it. The kitchen is so ugly. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, we need to renovate, and the kitchen bench needs to be put the other way. Well, do you know what? And that's what makes me so happy, because you're obviously writing that as I was speaking. So people who kind of question sometimes what I do, it's so nice that someone says straight away that it was exactly, and I don't even know you from a bar of soap. Sorry, I don't mean to make that sound rude, but it's just, this is what we embrace. This is what I try and teach others. And again, when I said earlier that I put up a post today, about someone rattling off something crappy about Michael Jackson, if you're in the same industry, embrace one another. We all have different qualities, but the beauty of it is there still is skeptics out there, and we're never going to be rid of them. And to be quite honest, I've been doing this a very, very long time, and when I was like young and I was a teenager, I was bullied. I was, the old saying of being stoned on, on the wall with people actually throwing things at you, like, because everyone thought I was a witch and I was there to kill them, all sorts of things. You know, people just don't have an understanding. And when you're actually born with this natural gift, when I was very young, it never scared me, but I used to think, well, why can't I see that person? Why can't anyone else see them? And that was more fascinating to me than actually connecting with, who I could see. But, it's more about the respect that I feel when someone does validate what I say, because as I said, I've been doing it a long time. And, it's just embracing for, if there's any skeptics watching here, or if there's any people that say, oh, I don't know if I want to put my foot in the water, I don't know whether I want to test her out, I don't know whether, I don't know whether I believe, then this is the right platform to show so many people out there that you either, you are real, you're half real and an actor, or you're fake. And being real to me is extremely important. I have so much passion for what I do, so much desire, but I do everything with integrity. I do everything with my heart. I do everything with integrity. And Melissa, thank you so much for just, adding that validation in there for me, because that's brilliant. And look, there's another there's another one there. Dean, thank you. Will I get in trouble if I say I love you, Dean? I shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean. And then now I have another beautiful psychic friend who I love her. I love her spirit. Sandra, I love your energy. I love your spirit. I think you're divine. Wow. I don't know. Is it birthday? Is it Christmas? I don't really want to wait till next year's Easter show. And that's, well, sounds like I'm plugging myself tonight. But Sandra, she's one of my, Danina, who was, I'm not sure if she's still here, but Danina, my soul sister. Sandra is another one of my soul sister. We each year it was cancelled this year, but each year we do the Royal Easter Show under the banner of the Royal Psychic Reading Room, which is owned and run by another psychic, Angel Trishelle, and we'll be out there next year as bigger and bolder than ever. 12 days. I think there's something like 18 psychics, 14 healers, something like that, whatever, and I will be there. Sandra will be there. Danina will be there, and yeah, we connect with so many on great levels. And Sandra, that coffee, I'd love that coffee very, very soon. I don't drink coffee, but I'll have a tea with you. I'd love it sooner rather than later. Yeah, your energy is just beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, lovely ladies. Okay. I'm going to. Okay. You can do New Year's Eve? Fabulous. I've kind of figured that more people would. Well, I don't know. I'm just out there to say I'm probably happy to do both, because I think there's a need. I think there will be people on Christmas Eve who will welcome in, there'll be people that have young kiddies that'll go to bed early, of course, but there'll be another type of people who might be alone on Christmas Day, or they might be missing a loved one on Christmas Day, and the same with New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. There'll be people that just want a bit of, it's not necessarily help, but they want to join into something. They want to feel like they're a little bit of a family. They want to embrace, if they get anything from spirit. They just want to be around nice, light-hearted people. You know what I mean? So, Sandra, I'll put you on the list that you want to spend New Year's Eve. But I think maybe you'll jump in back again and agree with me. I just think there's a little bit of a need and a want for it, because of like how people get to feel on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. And I don't want anyone that is actually alone to feel alone. I mean, I work on my own, as I said, and giving you guys this sort of time, as much as I love helping people and whatever, it also, it doesn't make me feel important, but it makes me feel like I have a family out there in the world of technology and stuff like that, and I feel strong connections with people, and I don't take any of that lightly. People might come and go on my lives, they might never come back, and then I'll get on my regulars, which are beautiful, and I don't care if they ask me a different question every week. I really don't. I don't have any judgment on people, because I just think it's wonderful that they're taking the time to want to come into me. Yeah. So I just think that, and look, like, you're all starting to say, a few things, which is fab. Okay, Clarissa, I've just seen that, and I don't recall seeing you earlier. So if you can please, maybe stick another message up, that'd be great. Okay, thank you, Marianne. Okay, my computer's gone a bit crazy, as it does. It always goes a bit crazy every so often. Again, Sandra, thank you for responding. I knew you would. I had a feeling that you would. And yes, okay. Right above it, we've got another hack, another troll person by the name of Stephen Harris. These people need to do their own lives if they think they're that good. These trolls, I just can't stand them. Anyway, Sandra, back to you. Big need. I think it's also important, especially this year, for us to spend the love and help her mother. Absolutely. And yeah, I'm actually, I know it's only October, but now I'm actually very excited to spend, I can safely say now, spend Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve with everybody that wants to join. I'm going to do both. Simple as that. Too many people are now jumping in and, saying, great idea. And you know what? Some people aren't saying which particular one. So that tells me that there's a real need and want for some friendship and some fun on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So happy to do that. Okay. Well, I still think that's funny. The kitchen is the main area in fixing and the main concern. Oh, well, I told you, Spirit just took me for a little wander, and I'm thinking to myself, man, that's ugly. But that's why it said spin it around, do something, because everything was wrong. Okay, everything was wrong. Now I have a see, please don't think I'm favouring Dean. I'm not favouring Dean. We've never seen one another, and we've only ever connected on Messenger a couple of times because we're drawn to one another in our lines of spiritual connections. And it's only tonight's the first night he's jumped in, which I appreciate. And again, the connection is so strong. And you're asking about your dad, and I actually want to take you to something that I saw before when I was talking to you about military. Something military came through, but tall, like very tall, and he is back. And I have to say to you, even though I'm seeing a military style man, I'm actually not seeing a uniform as such. But I also see, I don't know now whether this is dad or whether your granddad's jumped in as well, because I also see an older man sitting in a huge, what I see is a huge, what is that word for the chair? Is it winged? Like those chairs that almost swallow you up, a huge chair, but with a pipe. Now the pipe seems to be significant to when you're a child. So I think that's more granddad than dad. Now that I have to say, you didn't like the smell of it, and you kind of, because I'm seeing this sort of action, like, and it's not that you're pushing anyone away. I think you're pushing away the smell or something, or other. That it certainly wasn't your cup of tea. But while you're pushing away, I think now there's another kitty coming in here as well as, and that's not for me saying the other kitty is deceased. That's more about me saying that dad and granddad are showing me another child. And hate to say it, but bit of bit of standoffish, bit of competition going on there. So it's either a brother or a cousin that lived near you where there was a bit of competition. But I want to say on your part, it was more about you finding your feet and more about, okay, here we can hear it, more about you not feeling like that you belonged. And when you, even as a child, when you felt like you didn't belong, and I think I said earlier where you're stuck, and I said there was obviously something from past, that's obviously where it fits. Okay, so a lot there, my love. And can you please let me know about Dad and this military look? As I said, I'm not being shown a uniform, but like tall and you know how like military people are just so, I don't know, they just have this poise about them when they stand, and the poise is, it's not intimidating, or to some it might be, to me it's not, but it's this confidence, it's this act of, you know, not I am who I am type thing, but just they have this confidence about them because they've been trained in a way that they shouldn't be scared of this and they shouldn't be scared of that, and so they just have this way about them. And I mean, you know, time's gone by. Sure, some of them can be, you know, arrogant, but you know, I don't see that as such. I don't see the arrogant as such. Okay, I knew the pipe was there. I could see it. I could even smell it. Okay. Well, clearly you weren't jealous of having red hair. Did you? Okay. Did you feel like you're the odd one out? Like it just, I don't know. It just weird. It just felt a little bit wrong. There was competition. There was competition. Okay. And Dean, thank you for answering so quickly on things. It's been wonderful. Okay, now I'm just going to scroll to get a few more. I've done Sharon, I've done Paula, I've done Melissa. Okay, I'm going to jump to Tony. Tony, how are you feeling? If you can let me know. I feel like the last couple of weeks have been a bit trying. I feel like I feel like you haven't felt well. And I don't need to touch on that because you know why, and I know why. But yeah, I just get the sense that you haven't been well the last couple of weeks. But I want to say to you that kind of that feeling will go away. But finances are a bit low, I have to say, are a bit low, and I think that there's been some times when you felt a bit off that you have. And when I say over worry, I don't mean that out of disrespect. I mean that in a sense of money is there, money, not big bits, but money is coming to you. And I think you've been a little bit frightened to spend. I also think that you're a little bit frightened to buy yourself anything nice, Spirit tells me. And it doesn't have to be lavish. Tony, please just enjoy some of the simple little things in life. You know, if it's, I don't know, it doesn't have to be money spent. And I know this sounds horrible to everybody who takes time in having their gardens look so beautiful. But Tony, like if you go for a little walk, pick a couple of flowers that are your favorite color, put them in a little vase when you get home, and when you smell that fragrance, it'll make you feel good. My mum used to call it the all-night florist. She used to come home with some beauties, which I think were a bit much, but and I don't want to disrespect anyone that spends hours in their garden, but you know, at times when you go on a walk, I'm sure your neighbours, you know, would not beg to differ if you took a little couple of flowers just on your way, because it seems to, you know, those little simple things will just make you feel a whole lot better. And I do want to say to you that when your finances, I don't want you to wait till your finances greatly improve. I do want you to start thinking of just little nice things to give to you. You've given everybody so much for so long, and you've gone through a really rough trot. You're coming out the other side of that, and I admire you so much for that. I truly admire you. Like, you know, one brave woman. You know, if I could give you a hug, I would. But a virtual hug is certainly, you know, going your way. a beautiful soul. But be kinder to yourself, please, because you do give. Even going through, your rough patches, you still give people. You give people, a lot, and you always haven't been flush with money, and I say that with respect. I mean, God, I haven't either. I've been brought up around no money whatsoever, but it's coming to a head, and smaller bits will come to you, and then bigger bits will come to you. But the bigger ones I want to leave off till about March, April. Yeah. But lots of things will change. Lots of different things will come your way, where I see you smiling far more often than what you have in the last few months. So God bless, my love, and thank you so much for joining. And just let me know how you're going. That'd be great. Okay. Oh, Julie, you're saying that again. Oh, that's so funny. Thank you. Okay, Joe, do you see me moving to Queensland or staying in DY? Oh, you're in DY, my love. You're in my home. You're in my territory. How could you be in my territory? How can you be in my territory and I don't see you? Wow. You have to make yourself known, my love. Okay, let me have a look. Let me have a look. Do you know what, Joe? I want to say to you that probably a couple of months ago, I think, well, with all due respects, and I mean this, well, I mean everything I say. I shouldn't have even said that. But a couple of months ago, I would have said possibly you would have ran to Queensland. Like you would have just run and gone, do you know what? And sorry, people, if I have to swear a little bit, because this is how it's coming through, so I have to repeat what I'm hearing. It's more like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm going to go start afresh. And I think that was kind of in your head for a couple of months. And I think the pressure of that, I don't know whether COVID made you feel trapped. It seems to be that you were okay a bit in COVID, and then something happened, and it just seemed like you just, I don't know. To me, I just see this. I got to say it as I see it. I see like this little girl that just sits in a corner, that's just huddled in a corner, trying to make not make ends meet, but trying to make wind of a few things going on. And should I do this or should I do that? And what's going to happen if I do this? And what's going to happen if I do that? And what's going to happen if I stay? And there's all these what ifs. And I think all the what ifs that you did in the world, it made it worse, because every what if escalated into so much more. And when it escalated into so much more, lost focus, lost clarity, lost like a lot of, excuse the, I'm not belittling in any way, but lost the common sense. And it was almost like, I don't know what to do anymore. And I think that worried you a bit. And I think some of this question was thrown then on the back burner because you might not wanted to address it. You might be so not focused on either or that it was impossible for you to make that decision. I actually see you staying put. I like the inner warrior in you, where you'll fight for another day. But now I don't see you as running. So if you're ever looking at Queensland, I'd say maybe if you can, I don't know what your finances are like, none of my business. But if you can kind of maybe get into a little holiday house or something and just have that on the back burner, where I can use that terminology that if you wanted to escape to Queensland, but more so for a holiday, not to escape, then you could freely go, because you would always freely have somewhere to go. Do you know what I mean? But I do see you virtually staying here. Okay. So, okay. Okay, this person, I will pop this up. I just saw your name quite a few times. I guess when I work on my own, it's broadcast on YouTube as well, but I don't have YouTube up to answer to see those questions either. So if you can always come onto the Facebook chat, because I know it streams live on YouTube, but I don't have access at the moment. If I want to be an octopus and have all sorts of computers and everything going, and I could, sit here with a board of computers to try and answer everyone's questions at once, I would. But yeah, if you can do that. And I know I just scrolled down the bottom to read that, so I'm just going to come back up to where I was. But yeah, Rock With Me, great name. I will try and get to you when I can. Okay. Candy, yep, thank you so much. Melissa, you're jumping in again. Don't say your hubby's annoying. Do you know what? After the kitchen, that's your next one. Okay. When the kitchen's done and the kitchen's sorted, and that's all looking it doesn't have to be fully finished, but when it's on its way, then yes, go for the playground. It doesn't have to be ginormous. Again, it has to be functional. Spirit says, be mindful of what you design. Don't design too quickly, because it has to be extremely functional. You want your kitchen to be functional, then you have to make your kids' playground functional as well. Yeah. Okay. Sandy, I would like to know if my pa or grandma are around me and have any messages for me. Okay. Stacey, let me have a look. I first want to say to you that I have a woman that's jumped in, virtually putting a hand up to say it's me. If it is your grandma, can you let me know if she's a person who wore beautiful brooches? Because she's showing me this like a female jacket with a beautiful encrusted brooch on it. It has like, there seems to be I think it's hand painted actually. It's kind of like a darkish background, but it has these unusual type flowers. I'm sure that's hand painted, but it's also encrusted around it with like little diamantes and stuff. So it's extreme. Oh, it's exquisite. But what I also get told from her is that she has a few, and she was always complimented on how she wore scarves a certain way, and she'd use it to pin a certain scarf so it would stay the same way. But often too, though, if it was a bit cool and she'd wear like a little bit of a jacket, she would have that on the lapel, and people would comment quite a bit. She also has like a I won't say like mine, because mine gets like a wild whatever. I think one of our psychics, Lenny, will always tell you my hair looks like a bird's nest. And, Lenny, that's your opinion. That's great. However, whatever. Leave me alone on the bird's nest. But I see her hair as kind of the same kind of shape as mine in length, but curly. And I see some tight curls around the side, actually, but a bit more loose around the back. But to me, I want to say to you that she kept it very well. Everything was always neat and tidy. If that's her, she's smiling at me. It's got to be her, because she's smiling at me saying, why are you asking that question? I actually want to say to you that you talk quite often, and you hear her. So I don't actually know why you're asking me if she's around, because she's telling me that you hear her. And sometimes, though, that when you question whether it's her, you talk and talk and talk, and then you believe that you don't hear the answers, but the next day you always seem to know the answers of your questions. So it's a bit of a mixed bag there. It seems to be that you're not 100% confident in what you're hearing. Excuse me. I think at times that you think that you're hearing what you want to hear back, and you question your ability, whether you heard that right or not, or whether that's your own take on it to say, oh, that's just me talking to myself. I want to say to you that that's grandma, because she said she's often giving you some advice, because you seem to take note, and as a child you seem to, well, no disrespect to your mother, it seems like you had some great conversations with Nan that you couldn't have with Mum, if that makes sense. Okay, Pa is with her. He's a bit of a what will I call him, the way he's kind of sitting there? He's a bit of a roustabout, I want to say. He's a bit of a, I can make jokes at Christmas time. Everybody laughs at me, but some people tell me that my jokes aren't funny, but I know that my jokes are funny. So he's a bit of a roustabout, and he truly believes that his jokes are funny. And I want to say to you that some of them are, but some of them are a bit dry. So Pop tells some jokes that are a bit dry, but he's a wonderful human being. They both have really beautiful souls and really caring souls, and that to me is always quite sweet when that kind of energy comes through, because it's just it's a nurturing energy. So it's just it's rather nice, yeah. Which I think is quite beautiful. Okay, let me have a look. Okay. When these travel restrictions are over, will I be able to get out of Sydney even for a 4-day weekend? So tired of being stuck at home and unable to socialise with friends. Jenny, look, a lot of us, do I speak for every single human being on the planet right now with your question? I probably do. With all due respect, there's so many people that can't wait for travel restrictions. I'm not a flyer, so, flying, not my cup of tea. But I understand, because I like getting on cruise ships, and we can't do that either. So I understand everyone's frustration, and I understand your frustration. And I know that you would love to get on a plane tomorrow if I said, guess what, it's all going to be lifted tomorrow. You'd be at the airport at 3 o'clock in the morning. You'd be raring to go. But I want to say to you, please keep a level head about it all, because if every plane opened up tomorrow, and if one person was a little bit ill on it, then we'd all be extremely frustrated in 2 weeks' time, because we all can't do anything again. So I know there's the conspiracy stuff. I know there's a lot of people who don't believe it, and I know that millions of people have unfortunately passed away from it, but they have also had other things that contributed to it. And I get it. There's all these sorts of scenarios, and everybody has an opinion on it. And everybody's entitled to their opinion about it, but it's what you do with the opinion that matters. So I'm certainly not going to get in any arguments with anyone about COVID, because it is what it is, and we can't change anything right now. So, we just have to kind of suck it up, and so to speak. But it's what we try and make of our time when we have this chance. And I want to say to you, like, I know you've been a bit unwell, and you haven't been feeling fab. But Spirit tells me there's things that you've stopped doing. There's hobbies that you've stopped doing because of the anger that's surrounded you with all this COVID stuff. And look, I understand why you're angry. I get it. But with being so angry, you're shutting yourself off from other things that are trying to come through. So if you've shut yourself off from any I don't even care if it's just knitting. I don't care if it's crocheting a blanket. I don't, or a bit of drawing, even a bit of reading. I don't really care what it is, but don't be so angry that you shut yourself off to something that you used to enjoy. Because if you can gain just a little bit of enjoyment out of doing something rather than nothing while you can't travel, then you start to just kind of boost that nicer energy that's flowing through your system, rather than the lesser energy. Do you know what I mean? And that will actually make you feel a whole lot better. So if you want to give that a try, and look, I know once the restrictions are over, yes, get up and go, get up and enjoy. Don't just go for 4 days. Go for as long as you like. That restriction then is you deciding like how long you're going to go for. It doesn't matter. You pack yourself up and you say, do you know what? I'm going to disappear for a week. I'm going to have a ball. Or I only want to go away for 3 days because I've got something else coming on. Like, you choose that. Okay? But in hindsight, as soon as it's over, absolutely, you'll be out there on that tarmac, yourself waving down the plane, telling the plane that you're getting on. I can just see it now, and that would be so funny. I'm joking, but that would actually be very, very funny. Okay, so who have I got next? Lisa. Hello, Lisa. How are you this evening? Hope you're well. Is Dad proud of the path I've gone on? Do you know what? I think you've questioned this for a couple of years. And I think with all due respects that sometimes it's the burning answer to the question has held you back in seeing what the opportunity really is. And that's no disrespect. It's more about that when you have had an opportunity pass your way, when you're not 100% confident in you and you've doubted your own ability, it's within 24, 48 hours later that you kick yourself, and then you're sitting there going, oh, I wonder if Dad's proud of me or not. It seems to me, from what I hear, is that he's saying he hears that a bit. And if he can hear you doubting yourself to wonder whether he's proud of you, this is going to sound really, then you don't truly know yourself very well, is what he says. You, as a young teenager, and I don't know what happened, but he's telling me that you were his pillar of strength. You were the one who guided him through something. You were the one that put a smile back on his face. And then I'm getting the stern finger, that says, don't you ever not think that I wasn't proud of you, because I was. And he still is. It's a way of him saying, you shouldn't have been old enough to be his pillar of strength. So you might need to explain to me, whether you want to do it privately on here, that's up to you, what he means by that. Because if a spirit is coming through saying that you were too young to be his pillar of strength, then something you did, something you said, something that you helped with him has really, has really kind of gone to, wearing the king's crown. He is more than proud, because you took it upon yourself to do that. And to him, that showed him that you are so much more than what you believe yourself. You have a greater power that you don't see in yourself. There's some, there's some confidence issues, but sweetheart, I virtually have to say, sit back and kind of, maybe, I don't like people digging up their past, because I don't believe in that, but it's more about understanding how you felt when you knew that you helped him and you saw that change in him that got him through. That's the woman I want to, that's the woman I want you to connect with and go, do you know what? I'm her again. I am her again. When you are her again, you will never doubt. You'll never doubt, virtually anything for the rest of your life, when you keep bringing her into play. And Dad seems to think that it is the most important thing you need to know right now, because not many people at a younger age would have been able to, I don't know why he's saying this, wouldn't have been able to withstand whatever the situation was. But you did, okay? And 100% blessings for that, because it's a divine thing that a dad can never say. So, okay. So Jenny's just jumped back in with the whole. So she's put her question there again, which I answered. I feel the need to reconnect with some friends. Have lost. I'm not comfortable with reunions of things. Like to feel integrated. I'm not a flyer either. I used to do a lot of needlework, but hands hurt. Yeah, give it a go. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be needlework as such. Tiny needlework. It might be that if you have that creativity to do needlework, then it might be that you can go into some sort of, I don't know, painting art classes, explore maybe that creativity side where you can explore with colors. Because needlework could be, it's very time consuming, but sometimes there's a lot of, you're going to do a few stitches here before you have to add another color and after another color. So if you can take that creativity and maybe do some artwork, some creative painting or something to that degree, it just seems that if you can explore that creativity side of you, it will help you greatly. Okay, so Lisa's just jumped in, and yeah, okay. And he is, if with raising you, then he couldn't be any prouder. Like it's going to sound horrible if I sit back here and say I don't understand why, you're asking if Dad's proud of the path that you've chosen, because you had to make some decisions very young. And when you make decisions young, they're not easy, They're really not easy. And, with all due respect, you were so young when you lost your mum. That was heartbreaking for you, heartbreaking for him. He lost the love of his life, and you lost, your mother. But you did some things, you said some things to him to get him through as well. And sweetheart, you couldn't have done any more. And he's smiling, like the way he smiles and puts his hand out to embrace you is just so endearing. It's just, I hate it when I get a tear because it's so beautiful in the connection that you have. And I actually want to say to you that there's a date before Christmas that seems to be special. Reach out to him. He's always there to have a chat. He's a great man. I love his soul. His soul is it's very kind. It's very gentle. He's had a lot of stuff go on. Where I want to say I think I don't think he thought he could continue on without your mum. And I think you were there to help him through that. And I think that was a very brave thing that you've done, and something that you can truly own as your own, but own it in a way where, you've done well. I think you've done amazingly well. So I take my hat off. Okay. Okay. Just have to bear with me a sec. I've just got a lot of the sidebar's just gone crazy. I mean, it was a while ago I did yours for memory, but yes, thank you for your message. Linda, thank you. Pippa, thank you. This is a new one. Hi, Indria. You must be an international. Let me know how you're going, or where you're actually, viewing from. That'd be great. Michelle, hello. I hope you're feeling better than what you were on the weekend. You're a bit crook, but I hope things are looking up for you. Okay, Andrea, you've come back and said, will I be able to have a second baby soon? Second and third, I have to say, is a very quick answer. I know you may not have been expecting a third. They are not. They're not side by side, so they're not twins as such. But there will be a second and third. I understand there's been a bit of a hiccup and a delay in you trying to fall pregnant. And with all due respect, I have to say to you that Spirit advises the amount of stress that you've put on yourself. Spirit, wow, you just gave me a big nudge then, didn't you? The stress that you have put on yourself about having number two has created, and please, like, with the greatest respect, and I have to kind of talk about feminine for a minute, the damage that you can do, or not, it's not really damage, but the effect that you can do when you stress out so much about having a second one, is that everything internally gets really, really tense, and therefore it's almost like you could try every night and you still wouldn't fall pregnant, because everything is just so tense, because all your whole mind, your whole body, your whole soul is focused on falling pregnant, and nothing will feel natural. Everything will then feel forced. If you can, and I know it's hard, because when you really want number two or number three, or people have 4 or 5, whichever the case may be, when somebody really wants a bub and it's not kind of going according to plan in the first couple of months, all their focus is on that. And with all their focus being on that, then you're getting frustrated, you're getting stressed, and then it's throwing that off to the partner, and the partner's going, oh, well, am I doing something wrong? Does that mean that I'm not good enough if you're not falling pregnant? And there's all these things then that you're creating that shouldn't be created. Because, Excuse me. Because in all of that, it's adding and building so much extra stress. And all that extra stress internally is just making everything go like this. So everything's all tensed up, and nothing's ever going to work because your body is just way too tense for you to actually conceive. So, like again, with respect, if you can put the need aside and just have some desire about where you say to yourself, I'd love to fall pregnant, not I need to fall pregnant or I have to fall pregnant. Those words are again enforcing the stress. So, yes, we'd like to have bumps. We'll keep trying and we'll just, if it happens, it happens. You have to kind of sit back in a way and take this lackadaisy attitude for your body to become unstuck. When your body starts to just embrace that, you're just, we'll have bumps when we're ready without the extra force onto it, things will just automatically happen. I do think, though, it's still going to take another few months. I mean, I'm seeing the number 4. So, that normally can mean two things. It's going to happen in 4 months, or it's the month of number 4, which then that becomes April. I think you'll fall pregnant before April. I don't see it going as far out as April. So I think it's more of the 4 months. But yeah, just start to enjoy one another. And again, I have to say this with respect, like no rushing into just having sex for the sake of, I could fall pregnant today, because you're losing some of the intimacy, you're losing some of the embracing of the romance, because in your mind it's all about, I'd like to fall pregnant. Yeah, it's let go of some of that stress. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, because it seriously will happen, okay? And I wish you all the very best of luck. I know you won't need it after you start to relax. And yeah, just let me know how you go. That'd be fabulous. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to... Sorry, just for a sec. Thank you, Ms Tique. You're right. Have been scared of being judged for my ugly hands. I know it's dumb, but can't seem to get past it. You will see you on both Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Blessings. Jenny, look, thank you. And this is a public forum, and you've gone that and kind of said, that is dumb that you feel that people are judging you. It's not dumb, it's how you've actually felt. But that stops today as well. You don't need to think that anymore, because in hindsight, I have this great saying. I mean, apart from the opinion thing, it's you're judging yourself and thinking that you have horrible hands. Like, if you walk down the street and 10 people walk past you, I hope you don't go home and go, 10 people would have thought I got crappy hands. Because it's like, I can say, oh, geez, I'm big. Oh, maybe I shouldn't go to the beach, because people might judge me and say, oh, what's she doing down this beach? Like, she's too big to be on the beach. Well, do you know what? I don't give a shit. I know, sorry about the swearing, but I really don't, because what's the point? If I worried every day about what someone thinks of me, then I would not be me. I'd be too busy worried about what everybody thinks, and what everybody thinks doesn't matter to me. I'm the one that pays my bills. They don't pay them for me. So if I'm a bit of a bigger woman, do I hide that? No. People might say, what do you mean by that? Well, wow, I'm on TV, I'm on a stage, I do live feeds, I do festivals, I'm out in the public eye all the time. Do I care? Someone might walk past and say, she's big. Care factor. If you don't like me for who I am, then I can't be bothered getting to know you. Do you know what I mean? So if you think you've got crappy looking hands, if you believe that others think that of you, then you're thinking something without knowing it. And if people don't like you for your hands, seriously, they don't need to be in your life either. Okay. It's a real stickler with me, because, and I will just quickly say this, when I was asked to do Psychic TV many years ago, I was all excited and thought it was wonderful, and I thought it was a great opportunity. And I come home and told my son, and he went, whatever. But then my son was all about trying to get on Big Brother back in the day. Like, I know it's all changed now, but back in the day, when in the early years of Big Brother, he was all about, no, I want to do that. And I don't give a shit about, who's asked you to be on TV. So there was a bit of envy, I guess, there. But then I was like, oh, well, if that's the case, I'll just go tell my mum. And made her a cup of tea, everything, invited around. She was playing with the dog. And I said, oh, I've got some exciting news. And I told her, and in all seriousness, she just looked at me and she said, you can't do that. And I said, what do you mean I can't do that? She says, you can't be on TV. I'm like, why? Is that a problem? And she said, yeah, you're too big for TV. She said, you're too fat. Now, that was coming from someone who we all think that our mothers and fathers are going to give us unconditional love. And she said it to my face. Could have knocked me off the chair, because I've never been small. The only time I've been small in my entire life was 1994, when my ex-husband had stabbed me numerous times, broken numerous bones, set me on fire, all sorts of things. And I'd lost 70 kilos in 3 months just because of all the stress and all the everything going on. And then I was put in a hospital because they all thought I was anorexic, like, seriously. And they didn't look at the domestic violence, because he was a person who worked in an area that, oh, no, they're not going to be like that. And yeah, so that's why I go and help domestic violence victims, because nobody wanted to believe. And apparently, like, I was so clumsy, I would fall. Apparently knives, big carving knives, would be able to stand up on the ground somehow, and I'd somehow fall, and it would land in my gut, and I'd have to get it taken out by surgery. I mean, how ridiculous. People believe all this shit, but don't get me started on that. But in a way, my mother thought that's when I looked my best, when I'd lost all this weight too quickly, and she wasn't addressing the issue. It was more about ringing all my relatives saying how wonderful I looked because I'd lost all this weight, and it was all the wrong way. And when she said that about psychic TV, if I had the point being is, with all of you out there, like, if you think that one part of your body is a bit off, or you don't like something about yourself, please do not go down that path. Because if I chose to listen to someone who was supposed to give me unconditional love, if I listened to that person, then I wouldn't have gone on TV, or I would have seen myself on the camera and gone, oh my God, and frozen, and not showed everybody the real me. And that would have been a damn shame, because I am me. I'm never going to change. If anyone is watching now, or even watches later and wants to put up a comment, any of my friends that have known me for 30, 40, whatever years, like, they will tell you the only time they saw me that I was a little bit thinnish was after the aftermath of the domestic violence. Prior to that, like, I was the biggest kid in primary school. I wore a bra when I was 9. Like, come on. That's why I say to people, you got to love who you are. Don't change to fit in with anybody else. Be yourself. It's as simple as that. Like, if you need help on just understanding how important you are and how much that you should like yourself for who you are, please get in contact with me, because I teach it to many. I seriously teach it to many. Okay, let me have a look. Okay. I'm just going to go back to where I was, because I kind of went off track there. Okay, I'm going to go with this Rock Me With person, because obviously they were, sorry, just click that off. They were, okay, they were watching on YouTube, and I wasn't answering, apparently. So, my personal long distance, but seeing monthly or more. We had contact and harsh words exchanged. Will I see him by Thursday or Monday? Will he connect? Wow, okay. I have to be honest, I have to look at Spirit is directing me to the harsh words that are explained, were exchanged. To me, I get a feeling of some of those words really weren't very nice, and I kind of live by the ruling of this, the spoken word is said, and some people say, use the terminology, oh, but I was angry and I said it just because I was angry, or I was drunk and I didn't know what I was saying. However, in all the study that I've done and understanding the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, normally if we're scared to say something in our normal monotone, throughout the day, because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings, normally if we've got alcohol fueled or we're anger fueled, it's easier for it to come out. So to me, if someone wants to go and scream and tell me I'm a bad person, or I'm a cow, or you didn't do this right, so you're an idiot, or whatever they want, they might want to say, they actually mean those words. Because if they're angry enough, they will say what they've been thinking for a while. Those words just don't appear for no reason. Another excuse, like if people go off and have an affair, and someone says, oh, I'm so sorry, I was drunk, I didn't know what I was doing. Well, I'm sorry you did, because you still had the brain power to go over and talk to that person, or to meet up with that person and do what you did. Just because you were drinking, you just probably would have had the balls to go and chat them up, if you know what I mean. So there are many things around that. After all the study I've done on the mind, it's you would have had to have thought of those things somewhere in the relationship, somewhere in the friendship, somewhere in whatever. You would have had to have that thought process somewhere, that if you exchange words, if you have an argument, they'll come out. And to me, when the spoken word is said, I can forgive that person, but you probably won't ever forget. If you disregard it because you go, well, I said some horrible things to him, we're both angry and we both didn't mean it, that's up for you to decide on that one. It is just what I know with the minds, and how that kind of operates is how you want to address those sorts of things. I know it's long distance. I actually don't see you connecting by Thursday or Monday, to be honest. I think there's some hurt there, and I think there's some want from you to be able to connect, but I feel that there's there's two lots of hurt, but I feel like there's more hurt on the other side, where it's like, you know what, I'm just going to back off for a little while and just see what it does. I actually don't see it by the Monday or the Thursday or Monday. I wish I could, because I wish I could give you some enthusiasm to be going, do you know what, I'll be able to speak to that person, again soon. But I also want you to kind of look back and look on the look on the words that were said, and if they weren't so harsh, then there's room for you to kind of go, do you know what, I can forgive because it wasn't that bad, and maybe I am like that, or no, they were pretty harsh and I'm pretty upset about that. There's two ways of working that, and I kind of need you as a human to say, am I worthy enough after what I've been told? So that is one for you to decide. But yeah, I don't see the connection though before then, unfortunately. Okay. Not a problem, Dean. Thank you for saying that. And yeah, we shall. No problem. Yeah, well, different hair colour. We'll see. Debbie, my love, please, I put up my message first. Oh, did you? Oh, I'm so. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Do you know what? When you first go live, and I'm not excusing not seeing it, but when you first go live, it goes quiet, and then all of a sudden, like 20, 30, 40 messages come up, and my screen just goes. So I try and scroll up and down as much as I can throughout it. But Debbie, I'm so sorry I missed it. Truly. I certainly don't do things like that on purpose. Never have, never will. I'm just going to pull a few cards and see what's about. Okay. All right, my love. Wow. Where have you been stuck? I say that with respect. It seems like, wow, 10 steps forward, 15 back, 8 forward, 12 back. What is that about? You have made progress on a few things. But every time you've made a few progress on something, someone has either come in and sideswiped you and said something, or you've decided not to go ahead with it. So you're taking little leaps, Now I see some of it as you taking yourself back, but I also see on some of it that someone comes in on the side and has a little bit of natter to say. I don't really know what that's about. Spirit's kind of like, oh my God, there's so much going on. And it's, wow, okay. Sorry, I just had a thing there for a minute because I had Spirit kind of going like 1,000 miles in my ear. And it was, yeah, I mean, they're the ones that keep, they show me like it's dancing, but it's not actually dancing. Spirit shows me when I was saying the 10 steps forward, like, 15 back, they're showing me like someone who's skipping forward, skipping back. So I had to try and work out what Spirit means by that, because it just seems rather weird that you wouldn't, if you're taking steps back, you wouldn't be skipping as such, because when you take a step back, you wouldn't be happy about it, so that means you wouldn't be skipping. So that kind of doesn't make sense to me with Spirit, but that's what they're showing me. That I don't know whether you did that as a way of hiding your emotions, hiding your feelings when you were younger with this skipping forward, skipping back. I don't know whether that's something that you did to kind of put people off the scent when you're feeling wrong, or that things weren't going right for you when you were younger, that because it seems to stem from younger years. I don't quite want to go back that far on here, that's for sure. But Spirit is telling me that you seem to have done a lot of that, and part of me wants to say that when you're older in life, the skipping beat, of course, you can't do, but you still kind of do the same thing as you wear a mask. So people often think that you're okay, and you're not okay. Please know that it's okay with, I'm sure being showing 3 people in particular that you are okay to open up to and chat to, because there's some people that you can't. Okay. I think you know who I'm talking about, but that's okay. I'm sure you'll sort that out. But I also want to say to you that I have a lady, and I don't think she's your mum. I think it's more of, I actually think it's a friend. I don't think it's a relative. I think it's a friend who I want to say had some younger years with you, with great fun, and maybe that's part of this skipping too. Maybe it was a way of hiding your true emotions or some of your true pain when you're a younger girl, but then in your sort of like mid-range years, you seem to have formed this friendship that as if you'd known one another since kids, but not. And I feel that it's her that you've lost. And I think there's a sadness around it, because I think that you feel that you can't skip anymore. And I think that's I think there's two things here of the skipping meant something different to you when you were young, as opposed to what it did to you when you got older. And I kind of need to marry those up together to say to you, it's okay to be sad, and that person is always with you. Like, you're never going to lose them as that close friend, because you're able to talk to them. You're able to call upon her and say, I have a problem, I need to have a chat, and have that chat, because you will hear a response. And I want to say to you, at times I don't think that you trust your intuition, because I think that, not that you're scared of it, I think that you're worried that you won't hear anything back, or you won't listen to your intuition properly, and you'll get a bit confused, and you'll use it in a way that's not constructive for yourself. So that's a bit there. But also too, I know you've asked about work, and work, I don't get a really good feeling about work at the moment. I think there's something going on there where it's either undermined, or that you're not happy with it. Because there seems to be, and I frowned straight away when I said it, because Spirit is showing me that you're not happy. I mean, apart from everything else that I've already spoken about, it's something to do in that job that you're not getting satisfaction. You're not smiling too much. There's to me, it just seems empty. It seems like, are you doing things for the right reason, or are you doing things to keep others happy? Because to me, I feel like you're not doing much for you to be happy. You're not doing much for you to embrace you. So I kind of get that feeling with that too, Debbie. I'm wondering if you can let me know like what that feeling is and why it's kind of like that, because it doesn't feel right, it doesn't sit right, and the skipping part, as much as you cover things up as a kid by doing it, the later years of you having a great friend of skipping is a truly beautiful feeling. So if you can let me know, that'd be fantastic. All right, and Debbie, I'm so sorry that you waited so long. It truly wasn't my intention to do that. So yeah. Joe, they do. They certainly do. And I've never proclaimed to be a pet psychic. I do have some colleagues that say they do it all the time. With you, I mean, when reading your question, the first thing, I mean, I don't know what type of dog Bella is, and I don't need to know. I mean, the first thing I got shown was like a whitish, creamish, small, like fluffy little thing. That was more around your ankles, but such a cuddler. And you had her for such a long time, is what I want to say there. And, to me, what I see is running and playing, and I want to say to you that she's fine, but again, I'm not a pet psychic, but I'm not a pet psychic at all. Like as I said, never proclaimed to be. But as soon as I read your question, I did see this white, small, fluffy thing like around your feet, but always loving cuddles. Never. Okay, now I hear something else. Excuse me. Never afraid to take a bit of food while you're eating it. So, so I'm not sure how that fits, but if you could let me know, that's fab. But yeah, that's cute. Yes, they do, Jojo. They really do. But often too, what I want to say with fresh flowers, if it's been significant in someone's life and they've passed, it's more about when they're in your home, you embrace the significance as well as embrace the fragrance. But it always seems to put a smile on your face, because then you remember that person going, "Oh, Mum used to bring in those flowers," or "My nan used to grow those." So it often brings in really nice memories as well. As also, as you say, giving you the good energy that comes through the home. Joe, no, you don't. You used to, but you don't, because I don't work there. I haven't worked Thursdays for a few months now. So unfortunately, I don't get to see you. So no. A few changes gone on in there. Something that's not to be discussed here, that's for sure. But anyway, I hope you're well. Because yeah, it's been a long time since I have seen you. But yeah. Twin sister is in Queensland. Well, then you'd always have a place to stay there, wouldn't you? Maybe. But I'd say get your own as well. Okay. Watching from South Africa. Thank you so much, Sari, for joining. I would love a message or guidance from my current situation, or also concerned about my career, health, and children. Thank you for sharing. Okay, sorry, that's a lot of questions in a short snapshot reading. If you want to connect with me, inbox me to have like a complete reading, because there's a lot here to get through, and certainly on a live feed, I can't always go into great detail with a few things. Okay. First thing I want to say to you, in your current situation, there's to me, there's a heavy feeling of loss, and it's not just about work. I mean, I know your work situation too, I feel has changed in a way that it's not to your liking, although I do see that will change again after Christmas. But something has to give before something like that has to happen. But I also want to say to you that this feeling of to me, I have this feeling of emptiness and sorrow. I feel like your current situation is certainly not where you want to be. I feel like there's a loss around a relationship, and I feel like you're still in that you're still in that area of it being really, really painful. And I think you're hoping that it will just fix itself. And I really wish it could too. But I think I think that feeling is going to be with you for a while, because with all the greatest respect in the world, I think you're a person that actually feels very deeply. And I think when you're a person that feels very deeply, it actually takes you longer to move forward from things than say the person sitting next to you. So I feel that there's a loss there, and I feel like your heart has been virtually like, cut in half type thing is the vision that I get shown, which is kind of confirming the sadness that I felt when I read your question. As I said, like, I don't think that you're happy with the career, but I do see that changing, as I said, after Christmas. I think that they've worn the brunt of COVID and had to make some drastic changes, and I think you're one of those drastic changes, but everything will improve furthermore after Christmas, is what I feel there. And health and so forth. Look, with you, I'm not getting any energy in regards to your children. I'd have to have a longer conversation with you to be able to do all of that. But I don't see anything in the near future that shows me a negative thing to your health. I think everything will be fine. I think you've kind of gone through a bit of a rough patch, but I actually want to say that's kind of, to me, I'm being shown that's more than 6 months ago that you went through a bit of a rough patch with your health. And I think I believe that you're okay, but I think your subconscious always questions whether you are. And I think when it does that then it puts you in a bit of a state of anxiety about it, is what I want to say there. So I hope that's enough to give you a little bit of a taste about what I do. And yeah, as I said, if you want to connect for a complete reading, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts on that. Sorry, I'd appreciate that. Thank you, Melvin. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you will join again, and I hope that you will like and share my page, so other people will get some maybe some joy, maybe some experience out of it. That'd be great. Okay. Yeah, I love DY Beats in the morning too, mate. Joe, maybe we should start because I don't work Thursdays. Maybe at some point I can meet you for a cuppa down the beach. That would be nice. And here's another little troll. That's 3 I've had tonight. 3 different ones. But then I'm blocking them pretty quickly, so maybe they're just getting their friends to, or maybe they're just coming in under a different name, whatever. Who knows? Okay. I have to go to bed now, so I wanted to say no, I love listening to your advice and stories to everyone. I want to listen more, but I'm totally exhausted. Okay, no problems. Not a worry in the world, Lizzie. I hope you have a wonderful night's sleep. It's probably a while ago you wrote that. You're probably actually already in bed. I can't seem to catch up with this. It seems to be going forever. Okay. What are we sitting on? Only 2.5 hours. Wow. Okay. Okay. Much when I started my journey, I told him I was so grateful for the life he gave me. So I wouldn't be the person. Oh, look, Lisa, look, that's a magnificent answer to what I was getting. Because I knew the connection was close, and I knew that he was extremely proud of you, and that's probably why I was personally questioning why would you ask that, because I just felt it so deeply, and I thought that you would have thought it as well. So, but thank you for your comments. Always wonderful to get some feedback. Validations feedback is beautiful. And there's quite a few of you watching still, so it'd be great if you can like and share the page so others can get maybe some value out of any readings that they can take on board. That would be awesome. And the big news for any new people who have joined in the last hour is I've decided to come on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, probably from about 10:30 onwards, but that's Eastern Standard Daylight Savings Sydney time. On Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, about 10:30. But I'll do both nights for a few hours, and we will welcome in Christmas Day, we'll welcome in New Year's Day, and we will embrace it, and we will enjoy ourselves. We will have numerous connections with Spirit, because I love that time of year, and I know it will help many people that might be on their own. Okay, so I'm really looking forward to that, and I will create something so it comes up like a reminder on my Facebook page and so forth that we will do that. Okay, and I have to come to you with that. I need to look at what the connection is with the grey. It's coming through as grey. It's not really the size of a briefcase, but like I don't really want to say a man bag, but that's kind of, it's not a travel bag, and it's not a briefcase. So it has to be something that was very dear to him, that he seemed to use quite a lot, with a lot of papers in it. He was a man that also, too, I want to say, you kept a diary, which is unusual for a man. I mean, I know executives, excuse me, I know executives have these fancy diaries, but it's normally computerized. Excuse me. But I want to say it's like a book diary. It's almost like okay, the other reference could be that he did everything by the book, because Spirit is showing me a book, but Spirit was showing me like inside something grey. So I have to acknowledge that, because that's what they came through in. Now, I also want to say to you that in the book, at the back of the book, he he often kept little pictures in there. Okay, he often kept little pictures of you as a Spirit's really got my throat. Okay. Little there was in this book, there was pictures of you and someone else as babies, and then as small children. It seems to be they were the loves of his life, and he never kind of went anywhere without them, if that makes sense. And in hindsight, there is often times where, okay, he's being a bit cheeky now. There's often times if you get up and walk down a hallway, there's a picture in your hallway. I don't think it's glassed in, because I can't see a reflection off the glass. So I don't think the picture has glass on it, from what I can see. But there's often times that it's tilted to the left, and he's saying that when you walk up the hallway and you see it tilted down that bit onto the left-hand side, apparently it annoys the bejeebers out of you, and you're always flipping it on. But you often always say too that you might put another hook up, but that's not going to fix the problem either, because it's more about that, he will come past and just do it again. It's his way of saying, I'm here, and it's just his funny way of just letting you know that something is happening on a repetitive manner, if I can say it that way, for you to kind of go, oh my God, this keeps happening. Why does this keep happening? And that is the reason why it keeps happening, because it's him playing games, but it's him just sort of wanting you to know that, that's the funny side of him. He never wants anyone to be sad. He's a pretty jovial bloke himself, according to himself. But yeah, so not necessarily that he liked to be the life of the party, but he was always quite jovial, always had a bit of a joke, with the blokes. And I hear that quite clearly. So he's a bit of an old-fashioned tale teller, if he says, the blokes. But yeah, he was shy at times, but there's this other part of him that, not the jokester as such, but the person who, when it was the right time, could tell a good joke. So I hope that helps you. And yeah, God bless. He's a good man. Good man. Can you see with Aaron and Philip as I want? Sorry. What can you see with Aaron and Philip as I want to heal from the past? Kerry, that healing from the past, it's not as simple as me saying that it's going to heal and it's all going to be fine. It's a process, and my tattoo that says acknowledge, accept, release, and that is a complete process where a lot of things in past have to come up and be retouched on, and then there's some acknowledging about whether someone played a part in doing something or not before you can release it freely. There's all sorts of things that can go on. Anything can be healed if you want it to. It's not about the other parties trying to make it happen or don't want to make it happen. You personally have to decide whether you want it to be healed from the past. But there's ways and means of doing that. And as I said, it's not a simple yes or no, because it's a process. So if you want to, have some sessions with me where you say to me, I'm committed to this and I'm committed to releasing any old pain that's associated with it, so you can successfully, because you can't change the past, but it's what you choose to do with it and where you choose to put it that means that you're not going to carry around that past trauma that's going to get triggered every so often. So if you can just let me know what you want to do with that, because once you kind of get the process in motion and you understand from excuse me, I've not had a cough ever for weeks, and tonight Spirit just wants to get me in the throat all the time. It's a process that if you put your mind to it and put your heart and soul in it and you believe in it, it will work. But if you doubt it at all, or if you're not 100% on board, then the whole process is useless and it's not going to work. But if I get to be able to teach you what to do, then you have that knowledge for life. So if anything ever happens, like, further on in your life where you need to heal from something that someone does and you want to heal from it immediately, you will have the tools. I mean, people have said to me for years, oh, why don't you do that as a program and sell it? Well, I could, but in hindsight, I enjoy teaching, and I enjoy the other person realizing the power of it and understanding that, it's also done in their time, but they have to commit to it. Like if I ran a workshop, and I can put it all together and run a workshop, but if you're not 100% ready to do it when you actually sign up for a workshop, then you've wasted your money, which I know, again, is not my issue. But yeah, I just like to kind of continue to help. Maybe I should start with workshops and teaching that properly, so and people can actually physically take something away with them that if they forget, they can refer back to a book or of such. But yeah, okay. Now, Natalia, I've not seen your question. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure what you asked. If you're still here, I'm sorry if I've missed it. I actually don't recall seeing your name anywhere earlier on in the piece. But yeah, if you're still here, that'd be great. If you can maybe jump in. Now, I've just seen a response from someone. It's a photo frame. I'm always trading it. I think the bag could be an art case that he made. I have, and he always took the... Okay, that makes perfect sense. And thank you so much again. Thank you for your validation. That's awesome. And I have a fourth troll. Oh my goodness. It's funny, I thought to myself, I might try a Wednesday night instead of a Saturday night and see if there's a difference. Well, the difference is I've had 4 trolls tonight instead of 2 or 3. But anyway. And thank you for your validation. It's beautiful. Thank you. I love, there's this idiot again. Like, come on. Let's just change that to 5. That's the 5th one I've blocked. People have got nothing better to do. Like, I'd like to, if these people are actually watching, because I don't give a shit, because I'll just continue to block whoever you are. However, if you're actually watching, if you're good at what you do, why don't you do your own live yourself? You engage your own people instead of pissing everybody else off. Excuse anyone else that doesn't like my language, but instead of coming on here and pissing other people off who are here for very valid reasons, who want to be involved, then do it. Don't waste people's time in coming onto my live or anyone else's live. You're just going to get blocked. You know you're going to get blocked. And people are not going to contact you because you'll defraud them, you'll steal their money, you'll do all sorts of things. So, I have a record every week of all your names and your, Facebook pages. And trust me, you'll just get booted off Facebook. And legally, Facebook itself, not me, Facebook themselves will have enough evidence to bar you idiots for life. Like, I don't know why people just want to waste people's bloody time. Seriously. Sorry, guys, for swearing. It's just that these people just get on my nerves because they just waste people's time. And it's just it's annoying for you viewers. It's annoying for myself, But anyway, hey, Slav. Good that you can join. I'm doing well. How are you going, my love? It's been a long time. Well, no, it's not been a long time. It's been a few weeks since I spoke to you. Or sorry, I shouldn't say that, since I've seen you on one of my lives. So thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I hope you're well. You've probably got a message down here somewhere. When I scroll through, I'm obviously going to find it. Oh, I think I have found it. Any message for... Where's it gone? Any message for me about my love life for the next few months? Thank you. Okay. So, Slav, you may not have been on earlier when I was talking about love in general while COVID's gone on. And I don't think that you have anyone in your life right now. So if I was to tell you that, the next few months you're going to meet the love of your life, you would actually laugh at me because you won't. And I can say that Slav is one of my adoring fans from Psychic TV. God love him. And I just think he's beautiful. But Slav, let's be really realistic here. You have done some work on yourself, which I'm really impressed with, because I can feel that and I can sense it. And I think it was either last year or early this year that you're a bit ill. And I know you've got past that. However, with COVID hitting and all the restrictions, you're not able to go out and meet anyone. I understand in a lot of places restrictions are getting lifted, which is fantastic. I hope they get lifted even more because I want to give myself a birthday party in November. I seriously do. But a lot of places are saying, oh, no, we can't take your booking because of COVID. And I'm like, oh, my God, get over it. So, yeah, I'm still waiting for somewhere where I can book and have some fun for my birthday because I'm sick of being, indoors doing nothing except for work. But I actually want to say to you that the work that you well, Spirit's just really got me. And Slav, you know me, I say all this with the greatest respect, but it seems to be that the work that you did on yourself prior to being ill was really good, and you're actually progressing really well. But I then have to say to you that when COVID hit, you were still good for a while, but then you kind of really got, there was frustration, there was anger, there was parts of you who kind of went, do you know what, I'm never gonna find the one for me. And I really hope that from tonight onwards that you won't say that anymore, because it's just not true. When you become or go back to doing the work that you were doing before on yourself, and you started getting that newfound confidence back, it's only then when that confidence comes back, and also too when all the restrictions of COVID are kind of passed to a degree where people can go out and meet people. You also have to be 100% aware of who you're meeting And if they've ever come in contact with anyone previously, like, in 2020, with having COVID or even having COVID themselves, there's a lot of questions that have to be asked now for anyone meeting new people. And that's a real shit, because the younger generation, how are they going to meet a partner, get married, have kids? How's that going to work for this year, next year, and maybe another 3 or 4? How's it going to work for people your age, Slab, that want to meet someone and have a comfortable life with, or fall in love, get married, all that sort of thing? How does that work? How does the a bit of the older generation, how do they find someone with that, where even if they just want companionship, how do they have that hug and feel safe? And that, or has I have to have a bit of a laugh when I say, does everyone now have to have a questionnaire? Oh, I'm meeting you for the first time, so have you been in contact with anyone with COVID? Have you had COVID yourself? If you haven't had COVID, but you've been in contact with someone, how did you feel when you're, all this sort of stuff like that? That is just crazy. But in hindsight, that's kind of what we have to do, because we can't, if we fall for someone and want to give them our bodies, and you're embracing someone that may have had COVID, or may have come in contact with COVID, someone with COVID recently, how do we embrace that and trust in that? I it's just something that I'm worried for the generation, for people who are young and want to get out there and find someone, get married, have children, all that sort of stuff. I just feel that the whole process now is going to be slowed down. And Slab, that's why I'm very honest. I'm honest. If I told you, you're going to meet Mr. Right next week, you'd probably laugh at me. But because I'm not about saying anything that's untrue or it's fake, because you can't meet and embrace someone right now. I actually want to say to you that if COVID wasn't around, you're probably still not 100% ready, because you did take a few steps back, after being sick, because I think being sick kind of put you back to being a bit uneasy with yourself, and that's okay. You can be, you can have moments of being uneasy. We all can, but I think that's kind of just delayed some of your, that the inner warrior, the fight for you firmly believing that you're that you're a far better version of yourself from a long time ago. So I want to say to you, keep up the good work and keep focusing on you being the important one, because you will find that person. But I just have to be very, very mindful of just putting a hold on. Well, if you want to do it, caveman style, well, yeah, that's true. And well, hey, we can all fall for the hot delivery guy or the tradie. We're all open for a bit of that too, love. It's funny that we can laugh at it, laugh about it, but it's just a shame that I actually feel for the younger generation who are, coming into trying to fall in love and thinking about, wanting to get married and have kids. And they've just got to think about all this COVID stuff. I just want it all to go away. And yes, it's given people some time to stop and smell the roses. And it's people that have been, rich and arrogant for a long time. Maybe it's kind of like, because their money couldn't buy anything through COVID. So, maybe, they learned a lesson of they're not so important, because they might have been rich and powerful before COVID, but it didn't help them through COVID, did it? So they had to suck it up like everyone else. So I'm hoping a lot of those people stop and smell the roses as well. But yeah, it's just the way. It's just the way of the world. And as I said, I'd like to meet Mr. Right too. I mean, I thought I did a while ago, but yeah, that was 3 years a bit wasted. But anyway, I shouldn't say that, because I don't want any negativity into it. But yeah, but in hindsight, I still wonder whether that can be done now. And right now, I don't think it can. But certainly a bit later on, I'm hoping that maybe I'll have a few like your Slab, like what you said about the hot delivery guys or the tradies. Maybe maybe I can call upon my inner warrior to go, yeah, well, why not me? But yeah, it's certainly a fun thought to think of. Okay, Breezer, your thoughts are very powerful, so only feed your mind with the most positive and loving thoughts and vibes. Absolutely. That's the minute we start putting negativity into ourselves is the minute we really start doubting ourselves. And that's just not the way to be. Who wants to doubt themselves like all their life? Some people have had doubt bestowed upon them from their family when they were younger, and they've had to deal with that, and have to deal with it a bit lower when they're older. So thank you for reiterating that for me. Always good. I love you just the way oh, thank you, Slav. Yeah, look, some people love my honesty, some people hate it, but there's I'm not one of these people that are going to fluff around things. I'm not going to. Not everything is butterflies and roses and stuff. And there's some psychics in the world that will tell you that. They will tell you that everything's wonderful. I'm raw. I'm honest. If I see something for what it is, if I sense something for what it is, or spirit shows me in my face, I have to bring it forward because that's who I am. I don't sugarcoat things. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do but not in a way where it's untruth. Sometimes I have two spirit guides. One is my dad and one is my beautiful Nan. And my dad, when he was alive on the realm, he just said it as it was, but he was, what I want to say, like a bit brutal. So sometimes when he says things, I've actually got to clean it up before I can say it, because sometimes it's not that it's a bit aggressive, but it's just, sometimes it's a bit choice. When there's a lot of swear words, I have to clean it up before I say it. Oh, yes, I know. I know, Slav, and that's what worries me. So I'm hoping that the world changes very, very soon. Joe, thank you for joining me tonight, and have fun at work tomorrow. Thank you so much for jumping in. I know it was a different night, but I just wanted to trial a few things. So thank you. And look at us, we're still going 2 hours and 46 minutes in, so I will be finishing up very shortly, because I can't keep going on forever. I'll be here all night. We'll save the big nights for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So anyone that's new, that's jumped on in the last half an hour or so, or the last hour, a decision was made tonight. I put it out there for which night you would prefer me to come on. I mean, I will be on obviously a lot of times before then, but I was putting the word out for Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, and there was too many people that said they couldn't decide, so I decided to do both. So Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, I will be on live from about 10:30 onwards, Eastern Standard Daylight Time, whatever it is, and we'll go through and we'll crack into Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and we'll help as many as we can, because I just think it's a need, and I think it's a want for many. So it's all good. It's all good. Now, Sandy, I've just had your question pop up. Hello, my love. I hope you're doing okay. It was great to see you the other day in the street. Thank you for being kind about my little incident. Thank you. You're always a loving and gentle person. Any messages for you from Spirit World? Let me just have I'm just going to have a little bit of a shuffle of the cards. I just want to see before I hear. Well, I'm already hearing a few things. Okay. I know I certainly hadn't bumped into you long before COVID really hit, and because I worked from home for a long time throughout COVID, and I didn't even know, the situation that was going on. But I want to say to you that you couldn't have done any more. There was so much that you did, and I actually want to say, I think the last probably month, you've been saying to yourself, did I do enough? Could I have done something sooner? Could I have done more? Damn, I wish I could have done more. And I'm here to say, do you know what? No. You offer yourself so much. Your heart is huge, but not only for everybody. The love that you had for hubby was just, it was so real, and his in return. And I truly want to say there was nothing more that you could have done. And the expression of joy, the expression of an open heart, and the expression of open hands. I don't know if that is that a tradition, the opening of hands. Sorry, I can't see because of that. But if he was standing in front of you, the opening of hands, does that and presented to you, does that mean something? Because that's how he's coming through to me in having his hands in that manner, where that, to me, that seems to show that his love for you is going nowhere, and he is okay, but his heart is full. His heart is real, and I want to. Is it his great? No, it's not his. It's not great. It's his granddad. Okay. So also too, this hand thing must be something traditional, because he's also offering his hand, excuse me, offering his hands to the side now to another gentleman who is a lot older than himself. And I don't want to say it's his dad, because he seems to be a lot older than him in saying that, but it's okay because I still have family with me too. So, but also too, a message for you is, stop being so sad, stop questioning yourself, and remove some of the guilt that you have. I don't even know why you would feel guilty, but again, I have to come back to what he said originally, that you couldn't have done any more, and you were already, my way of talking is, you've already gone, well beyond, well above what was even expected. But he is so grateful of the hours. I want to say the last couple of weeks there was hours and hours and hours, and it's just, that's why he's probably saying this. You couldn't have done any more, because you gave him so much. So before he even got sick, you were always the light of his life. You're always the gentle. You're always the calm. Oh, okay. You're always the calmer one in the family. Well, sometimes I know you're a bit different than that. Pardon the pun, but it's like, if there was any family dynamics, or if there was something going on with others, that you were the calm one. And he seems to, all he had to do was sit back and know that you would, know that you would sort it, but sort it in your, this calming way, which is actually quite refreshing that someone else is actually saying that. Because yes, I think when I first met you, I thought you were just, calming. We have jokes, every so often, but I just haven't seen you for such a very long time. But he's the way he is embracing your personality, and how much that you did, it goes beyond, it goes beyond a pat on the back. And I want to say to you that like, he understands why there wasn't a lot of people, because he understood what was going on. But I want to say to you that is it the second song? He's directing me to the second song that was played at the funeral. I think. I don't know. You would have had a hand in choosing nearly everything, and I know you probably would have asked others for their opinions and their choice as well as. But the second song seems to be extremely relevant, and he's trying to send me some. He's trying to send me some music, and I just can't get it, because I don't know it, so I don't even know where it's from. But it seems to stem from something that's really, really personal between you and he. And it seems to be a song that, for whatever reason, whether it was played at your anniversaries or any, family get-togethers or whatnot, it seems to be something there. It seems to be very significant. So, but I can't send his love through to you stronger than what I can say, because it's just, it is so strong and so pure. And I love that he's a bit candid in actually doing with his hands this heart thing. because I just keep saying this. Yeah, Sandy, I just have to say to you that I didn't know him at all, and a very beautiful, soul, and um, a soul connection that I think in the beginning, and with all due respects, I think in the beginning you didn't realize how deep the soul connection was ever going to get, but it flourished into something so very, very beautiful. So um, hats off to you. My love to you. He's certainly sending his love. He's around you quite a bit, more more so than maybe you feel. I think at times that you don't sense him at all, and I think that you're worried about that. Please don't ever be worried about that. If you can't sense him or feel him at the moment, that's more about your grief, and you kind of trying to work out where everything kind of sits with you. You will be okay. You have great people around you. You will be okay. So it's more about sometimes when we're in that grief mode, we actually don't sense, we don't feel, and we don't hear from spirit, and therefore we start to believe that they're not going to contact us, but they will. And he's certainly by your side, and all my love to you. And hopefully I will see you at some point soon. Um, and yeah, and I'll give you a big hug because you need one from me. Uh, so yeah, and you know what? That was a really beautiful connection with spirit to actually end off on, because I'm only a few minutes on, going off 3 hours. It's the longest one I've done. I've gone 2 3/4, but we've hit 3 hours. If I haven't if I haven't done your, message, oh, Sandy, thank you so much. You have no idea how emotional I was, trying to hold back my emotions with him, because he's so beautiful, and your love was pretty unique, and I can truly appreciate that, because he came through so wonderful. So thank you for validating it, and I hope you are okay, and I hope you don't mind if I see you in the street that I give you a hug. I just feel I have to do that, because when I saw you briefly the other day, I was in such a hurry, and my leg was hurting from, and yeah. But yeah, it's really good. So to the rest of everybody, I thank you for joining. I seriously do. I think a few of you have been here from the beginning. And for you guys to stick around for 3 hours, I mean, that's mammoth for you guys alone. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're all very, very beautiful. And I'm blessed to have so many wonderful followers and beautiful viewers that, and I know you all understand. I know sometimes, you get frustrated if I don't get to your reading, if I don't get to your question, but I also know that, in my heart, that you guys know that you can jump back on another night and ask the question again, or if you have something else, and I will get to you. If anyone has any, really deep things they need to kind of resolve, or they need to know where they're, going in life and all that sort of stuff, you can always inbox me and book in a proper private reading. More things can be said in a private reading because this is public, and I can't always say what I hear, because it's too personal, and I don't hold it back for any other reason, but I really believe it's too personal to air on a public forum. So if any of you would ever, I'm here for the long haul. I'm always going to be Ms Tique, for the rest of my life. So if any of you want to book in for a reading, please do so. They are very in depth, and so that's all good. And again, yes, thank you for your presence here tonight. Thank you for all agreeing and wanting wanting me to be your host for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. That's the way I'm going to say it, because you've all jumped in with, with your messages of, yes, I want to break in Christmas Day with you, and I want to break in New Year's, Day with you, and all that sort of stuff. It's been very lovely to hear those comments. If you're still here, I can see that a lot of you are. Please, if you haven't liked and shared the page, if you could do so, we can, help others on their journey, because it's you know, it's what I love to do. It's what I'm passionate about. It is my world, and I try and help as many people as I can whenever I can. So yeah, it's again wonderful to be here. Like and share the page. Put in your diaries already. I mean, I will be here many times before Christmas and New Year's Eve, but put in your diary already that Ms Tique will be live Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve from 10:30 p.m. onwards, and we're going to have a ball. I'm going to make sure that nobody is felt unheard, and I'm going to make sure that nobody is feeling unloved or alone on both those nights, because they're very, very important dates on the calendar. And I will always try and support spirit on wonderful occasions as those. And I'm happily give up my time on those evenings to make sure that everybody else has a good one. All right. So love from me to everybody tonight. Thank you again. Divine blessings to you all. Thank you for being patient. Thank you all who have already sent back validations for your questions that were answered. I do appreciate those from the bottom of my heart. I'm very humbled by those. And yeah, have a great Thursday and Friday, and see you again next week. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. See you soon. Bye for now.